Welcome to Crypto Shadows by R. Collier. This book covers techno-noir detective thriller. Chapter 1, The Envoy's Demise. Jack Marrow was sipping his morning coffee when the call came through, its urgency slicing through the quiet of his San Antonio home. The voice on the other end was clipped, official, and the news was grim. A U.S. trade envoy was dead under mysterious circumstances. As Jack listened, the familiar tingle began to stir. A gut-level intuition honed from years in the field, both as a Marine and a detective. Arriving at the envoy's last known location, a sushi restaurant tucked away in a bustling corner of the city, Jack's eyes scanned the scene with practiced precision. Details leapt out at him: a half-empty sake cup, chopsticks askew, and most intriguingly, a sushi menu marked with strange symbols. It was an oddity, seemingly innocuous, but his instincts whispered of hidden meanings. Jack's fingers traced the menu, feeling the raised ink of the ciphered clue. His mind, sharp as ever, began to unravel the puzzle. This was more than a simple death. It was the opening move in a game of shadows and deceit. His tingle flared, a signal that something much larger was at play. In that moment, Jack knew the path ahead would be fraught with danger and intrigue. The envoy's demise was not an isolated incident, but a thread in a vast, tangled web. As he pocketed the menu, a resolve settled over him. The world of high-stakes crypto and shadow economies awaited, and Jack Marrow was ready to dive into the depths. Jack Marrow sat in his San Antonio office, the late afternoon sun casting long shadows across his desk. The hum of the city outside was a comforting backdrop to his routine, a rhythm he had grown accustomed to over the years. His eyes scanned the latest reports on his computer screen, fingers tapping absent-mindedly on the edge of his desk. It was just another day, or so he thought. The shrill ring of the phone sliced through the air, pulling Jack from his thoughts. He instinctively reached for it, his mind already shifting gears. "Marrow," he answered, his voice steady and familiar. The voice on the other end was tense, a contact from the State Department. "Jack, we've got a situation. A U.S. trade envoy has been found dead in a hotel room. It's suspicious, and we need you on this. High priority." Disbelief flickered across Jack's face. "You're saying it's a murder?" he asked, already feeling the familiar tingle at the base of his neck. It was more than just instinct. It was a sixth sense honed from years of experience, a blend of battlefield hypervigilance and fraud pattern recognition. "That's what we need you to find out," the voice replied, urgency threading through the line. "The implications could be international." Jack leaned back in his chair, his mind racing. The tingle was now a full-blown alarm. This wasn't just another case. It was a call to action, a summons into a world of intrigue and danger. He felt the weight of it settle on his shoulders, yet there was also a thrill, a spark of excitement at the prospect of unraveling a complex mystery. He hung up the phone, his thoughts already shifting to the task ahead. He knew the routine: gather evidence, analyze the scene, follow the leads. But this time, it felt different, as if the stakes were higher, the shadows longer. Jack stood, reaching for his gear. His hand brushed against the nicked Desert Storm challenge coin he kept on his desk, a talisman of sorts, grounding him when the tingle flared. He pocketed it, feeling its reassuring weight. As he stepped out into the night, the neon lights of San Antonio cast an eerie glow, their reflections dancing on the wet pavement. The city seemed to whisper secrets, hints of the truths he was about to uncover. Each step felt deliberate, a move in a larger game he was just beginning to understand. The drive to the hotel was a blur, his mind a whirlwind of possibilities. Who could want the envoy dead? What secrets did he carry that warranted such a drastic end? Jack's thoughts were a tangled web, each thread leading to more questions. Arriving at the hotel, Jack was greeted by the familiar chaos of a crime scene. Police lights flashed in the darkness, casting a surreal glow over the gathered crowd. He flashed his badge, moving past the perimeter with practiced ease. The room was a study in contrasts, the opulence of the decor marred by the grim reality of its occupant's demise. Jack's eyes swept the scene, taking in every detail. The envoy lay sprawled on the bed, a picture of serene finality. As Jack began his examination, he noticed a small, seemingly innocuous detail: a sushi menu, left open on the bedside table. It was an oddity, out of place in the otherwise pristine room. His instincts told him it was significant, a A ciphered clue, perhaps, left by the envoy in a final act of defiance or desperation. Jack's mind raced as he pocketed the menu, the tingle intensifying. This was no ordinary case, and he was no ordinary detective. He was Jack Marrow, and this was his world. A world where shadows hid secrets, and every clue was a step closer to the truth. As he left the room, the weight of the responsibility pressed down on him. Yet there was also a sense of purpose, a clarity that came from knowing he was on the trail of something big. The night air was cool against his skin as he stepped outside, the city alive with possibilities. Back in his car, Jack allowed himself a moment of reflection. The envoy's death was just the beginning, a catalyst for a chain of events that would lead him across continents and into the heart of a global conspiracy. But for now, it was just him, the road, and the promise of answers waiting in the neon shadows of Tokyo. As he drove through the city, Jack's mind was a storm of thoughts, each one a piece of the puzzle he was determined to solve. The call had set the stage for a thrilling investigation, and he was ready to play his part. San Antonio faded into the distance, the city lights a distant memory as Jack focused on the path ahead. The world was changing, and so was he. The case was more than just a job. It was a test of his skills, his instincts, and his resolve. And Jack Marrow was nothing if not resolute. With a final glance in the rearview mirror, Jack left the city behind, the road stretching out before him like a promise. The game was afoot, and he was ready to face whatever lay ahead, armed with nothing but his wits, his instincts, and the tingle that never steered him wrong. Jack Marrow stepped into the upscale sushi restaurant, a place where the air was thick with the aroma of fresh fish and the undercurrent of whispered deals. The establishment was a study in contrasts, bustling yet serene, a sanctuary where the powerful exchanged pleasantries over nigiri and sake. It was here that the U.S. trade envoy had his final meal, and Jack was determined to uncover what secrets lay hidden within these walls. The restaurant's ambiance was a mix of subtle elegance and modernity, with soft lighting casting a warm glow over the sleek wooden interiors. As Jack settled into a booth, his eyes scanned the room with the diligence of a seasoned investigator. His tingle, that instinctive fusion of battlefield hypervigilance and fraud pattern recognition, was on high alert. Something here was amiss, and Jack was determined to find out what. A waiter approached, placing a menu before him with a courteous nod. Jack's eyes fell on the menu, and immediately he sensed something unusual. Each dish was accompanied not just by a description, but by a seemingly random sequence of numbers and letters. To the untrained eye, these might have seemed like mere menu codes, but Jack's instincts told him otherwise. These sequences were a cipher, a coded message waiting to be unraveled. The pressure was palpable. With every tick of the clock, Jack knew that crucial evidence could slip through his fingers. His mind, a well-oiled machine honed by years of experience, began piecing together the puzzle. He ran his fingers over the nicked Desert Storm challenge coin in his pocket, a grounding ritual that helped him focus when the tingle flared. As Jack delved into the cipher, a wave of curiosity washed over him, mingled with a hint of frustration. The numbers and letters seemed to dance before his eyes, teasing him with their complexity. Yet he was undeterred. His analytical prowess was one of his greatest strengths, and he was determined to see patterns where others saw chaos. Slowly, methodically, Jack began to decipher the code. The sequences corresponded to a blockchain transaction ID, a revelation that sent a jolt of adrenaline coursing through him. This was no ordinary menu. It was a breadcrumb leading to a financial trail linked to the envoy's death. The discovery was a gasp-worthy moment, a classic aha that confirmed Jack's suspicion of a deeper conspiracy. This breakthrough marked a pivotal point in the investigation. The local case was rapidly evolving into a global intrigue with implications that stretched far beyond the confines of the restaurant. Jack's resolve was solidified, his path clear yet fraught with danger. The ciphered clue was a key, unlocking the door to a labyrinth of deception and betrayal. Jack's character shone through in this moment of clarity. His ability to see through the veil of complexity was a testament to his skill, yet it also highlighted his vulnerabilities. In a world where trust was a rare commodity, Jack often found himself isolated, navigating the shadows of deception with only his moral compass to guide him. his thoughts drifted to the next steps. The ciphered message hinted at a financial trail that could lead him to the heart of the conspiracy. With the envoy's death tied to a blockchain transaction, Jack knew his journey would soon take him to Tokyo, where the neon shadows held secrets of their own. The anticipation was electric. The sushi menu cipher was not just a plot device, but a bridge to the next chapter of the investigation. Jack's mind raced with possibilities, each more intriguing than the last. The narrative was propelled forward, leaving readers on the edge of their seats, eager to follow Jack as he delved deeper into the mystery. As he prepared to leave, Jack took one last look at the menu, committing the sequences to memory. This was just the beginning, a glimpse into the intricate web of conspiracy that awaited him. The envoy's death was the catalyst, but the real challenge lay ahead. With his resolve unshaken, Jack was ready to face whatever dangers the shadows of Tokyo might hold. The restaurant's ambiance seemed to shift as Jack stood, a sense of purpose guiding his every move. The journey from San Antonio to Tokyo would be fraught with challenges, but Jack was no stranger to adversity. His years of experience had taught him that the most complex puzzles often held the most rewarding solutions. With the cipher decoded, Jack's path was clear. He would follow the financial trail, uncover the conspiracy, and bring those responsible to justice. The stakes were high, but Jack was driven by a sense of duty, a commitment to uncovering the truth no matter the cost. The subchapter closed with a sense of anticipation, the narrative poised to dive into the heart of the conspiracy. Jack's analytical prowess and unwavering determination were on full display, setting the stage for the challenges and revelations that awaited him in the neon shadows of Tokyo. As Jack exited the restaurant, the city's lights reflected in his eyes, a reminder of the global intrigue that lay ahead. The sushi menu cipher had been the first tangible clue, a key that unlocked a world of possibilities. With each step, Jack moved closer to unraveling the mystery, his resolve unyielding, his path clear. The journey was only beginning, but Jack was ready. He had faced danger before, and he would face it again. The conspiracy was complex, but Jack's instincts were sharper than ever. With the ciphered clue as his guide, he would navigate the shadows, uncover the truth, and bring justice to those who sought to hide in the darkness. Jack Marrow was sitting in his dimly lit office, the silence punctuated only by the rhythmic ticking of a clock on the wall. The phone rang, shattering the quiet. It was a call that would change the course of his life, thrusting him into a labyrinth of deceit and danger. The voice on the other end was terse, laden with urgency. A U.S. trade envoy had died under mysterious circumstances in San Antonio. The implications were vast, hinting at political tensions and shadowy dealings that stretched beyond the borders of Texas. Jack's mind raced, his instincts honed from years of military and law enforcement experience. This wasn't just another case. It was a puzzle waiting to be solved, a challenge that stirred something deep within him, a sensation he called his tingle. This tingle was more than just a gut feeling. It was an amalgamation of battlefield hypervigilance and an uncanny ability to detect fraud patterns. It was this tingle that had kept him alive in the chaos of war and the complexities of detective work. The envoy's last known location was a high-end sushi restaurant in San Antonio, a place where the elite mingled and secrets were whispered over delicate morsels of fish. As Jack entered the bustling establishment, the atmosphere was a blend of clinking glasses and hushed conversations. Yet, his focus was razor-sharp, scanning the room with a practiced eye, searching for anything that seemed out of place. The sushi menu, innocuous to the untrained eye, held a ciphered clue ingeniously hidden within its pages. It was a detail so subtle that only someone with Jack's unique skills would notice. The discovery was a pivotal moment, triggering his tingle with a visceral intensity. His subconscious had pieced together patterns his conscious mind was only beginning to understand. This was no ordinary death. It was the tip of a conspiracy iceberg, and Jack was determined to uncover the truth. Jack's internal monologue was a whirlwind of thoughts, memories of his past missions flooding back. His time in the Marines had taught him the importance of vigilance and the ability to read microtells, those fleeting expressions and gestures that revealed more than words ever could. In this moment, He felt the weight of his experience pressing down on him, guiding his instincts with an unerring precision. As he deciphered the clue, the tension in the room seemed to thicken, each realization adding another layer to the conspiracy he was unraveling. The envoy's death was not an isolated incident. It was part of a broader scheme, a web of deceit that reached into the highest echelons of power. Jack weighed the implications of his findings, knowing that each step forward could lead him into deeper danger. Despite the risks, Jack's sense of duty propelled him forward. The decision to pursue the lead was not made lightly. It was informed by his unyielding drive to uncover the truth, no matter the personal cost. The path ahead was fraught with peril, but Jack was resolute, his mind set on the journey that awaited him in Tokyo. The global intrigue was only beginning, and Jack was ready to face it with the same determination that had defined his career. As the subchapter draws to a close, the stage is set for a techno-noir thriller that promises to keep readers on the edge of their seats. Jack's tingle has awakened, and with it, a narrative that blends suspense with character development, offering a glimpse into the mind of a detective operating on the razor's edge of intuition and logic. This moment lays the groundwork for the complex web of deception and danger that Jack will navigate, ensuring that readers are hooked from the very first page. In the days following the discovery, Jack's investigation deepened. He reached out to Sofia Ramirez, a blockchain forensics expert based in San Antonio and his trusted tech anchor. Together, they began to unravel the digital footprints left behind by the envoy's dealings. Sofia was a whiz with numbers and algorithms, her skills a perfect complement to Jack's instinct-driven approach. As they delved into the envoy's digital life, patterns began to emerge. Off-ledger transactions, erased identities, and a vanished Bitcoin cold wallet tied to something ominously referred to as Project Displacer. This autonomous financial AI was at the heart of the conspiracy, a shadowy presence manipulating crypto wallets and gig wages with impunity. The deeper Jack dug, the more he realized the scale of the operation. It was a global network stretching from the streets of San Antonio to the neon-lit alleys of Tokyo. The players involved were powerful, their motives shrouded in mystery. Yet Jack's resolve only strengthened, his tingle guiding him through the labyrinth of clues and misdirection. With each passing day, the narrative of deceit unfolded, revealing layers of betrayal and greed. Jack's journey was not just about solving a case. It was a battle against an unseen enemy, a fight to restore balance in a world teetering on the brink of chaos. His instincts were his greatest weapon, and he wielded them with the precision of a seasoned warrior. The decision to travel to Tokyo was inevitable. Jack knew that the answers he sought lay across the ocean, in a city where tradition and technology coexisted in a delicate dance. It was a place where the past met the future, and Jack was ready to confront whatever lay in wait. As he prepared for the journey, Jack reflected on the path that had brought him here. His life had been a series of challenges, each one shaping him into the man he was today. The tingle had been his constant companion, a guiding force that had never led him astray. It was this tingle that now urged him forward, into the heart of the mystery that awaited him in Tokyo. Jack's journey was just beginning, and the road ahead was uncertain. Yet he faced it with a steely determination, his mind focused on the task at hand. The tingle had awakened, and with it, a narrative that promised to captivate readers with its blend of suspense, intrigue, and character development. The stage was set, and Jack Marrow was ready to take on whatever challenges lay ahead. Chapter 2: Arrival in Tokyo. Jack Marrow stepped off the plane into a world that buzzed with electric energy. Tokyo's neon skyline flickered against the night, a vivid contrast to the wide-open plains of Texas he called home. As he maneuvered through the crowded terminal, his senses sharpened, picking up the subtle hum of the city that never seemed to sleep. Waiting for him was Sofia Ramirez, his tech anchor whose expertise in blockchain forensics was as sharp as her wit. "Welcome to Tokyo, Jack," she greeted, her eyes scanning the crowd with the same vigilance as his. Beside her stood Kaito Mori, a local journalist whose reputation for investigating Yakuza-linked corporate crimes preceded him. His expression was a mix of curiosity and caution, a man well aware of the shadows lurking behind Tokyo's bright lights. The trio quickly found themselves navigating the labyrinthine bureaucracy of the city. Gaining access to the U.S. consulate was no small feat, requiring a dance through layers of red tape that seemed almost designed to deter. Jack's instincts flared, his mind mapping exits and potential threats, a habit ingrained from years of military and law enforcement service. As they approached the consulate's entrance, Jack felt the familiar weight of his Desert Storm challenge coin in his pocket. It was a reminder of the stakes at play and the conspiracy that stretched across oceans. With Sofia's technical prowess and Kaito's local insights, Jack knew they were on the verge of uncovering a truth hidden in the neon shadows of Tokyo. What's crucial here is the blend of technology and tenacity, as Jack's journey in Tokyo sets the stage for an investigation that promises to challenge every instinct he possesses. Jack Marrow stepped off the plane at Haneda Airport, instantly engulfed by the vibrant chaos that Tokyo had to offer. The air was thick with the enticing aroma of street food, mingling with the chatter of multilingual conversations. This was a world far removed from the wide-open spaces of Texas, and every sense he had was on high alert. The airport itself was a bustling microcosm of the city beyond, a living organism pulsating with energy and color. As Jack navigated the terminal, the cityscape unfolded before him in a dazzling display. Neon lights flickered against the night sky, casting a kaleidoscope of colors on the rain-slicked pavement. The scene was mesmerizing, yet beneath the surface Jack sensed an undercurrent of mystery. Tokyo was not just a backdrop, it was a character in its own right, reflecting the complexity and allure of the investigation that awaited him. Jack's internal monologue was a whirlwind of emotions. Excitement and apprehension battled for dominance as he considered the cultural and professional challenges ahead. His instincts told him that Tokyo held the key to unraveling the conspiracy he had been drawn into. However, his thoughts were abruptly interrupted by the presence of Sofia Ramirez, his tech-savvy ally. Her warm yet urgent greeting provided a comforting familiarity amidst the sensory overload. "Welcome to Tokyo, Jack," Sofia said, her eyes scanning the crowd with practiced precision. "Ready to dive into the neon jungle?" Jack nodded, grateful for her presence. Together they navigated the thrumming streets, a sea of humanity moving with purpose and precision. Their destination was a meeting with Kaito Mori, a seasoned journalist known for his fearlessness. Kaito was a man whose reputation preceded him, and Jack was eager to see if he lived up to the tales. The meeting took place in a dimly lit izakaya, the air thick with the scent of grilled skewers and the low hum of conversation. Kaito's sharp gaze and the cigarette dangling from his lips gave him the quintessential noir journalist look. As they settled into their seats, the conversation quickly turned to the intricate web of connections they were about to untangle. "The envoy's death is just the tip of the iceberg," Kaito began, his voice low and steady. "There's a lot more going on beneath the surface, and the Yakuza are deeply involved in the digital underworld." Jack listened intently. His tingle, that instinctive sense honed over years of experience, fluttering as Kaito revealed a cryptic message left by the envoy. The message hinted at deeper layers of conspiracy, a revelation that marked a turning point in Jack's investigation. It was clear that the path ahead would be fraught with danger and deception. As the conversation unfolded, Jack couldn't help but feel a sense of urgency. The stakes were high, and the clock was ticking. The trio discussed the envoy's death, local corporate crimes, and the shadowy world of crypto transactions, each revelation adding another piece to the puzzle. The tension in the room was palpable, and Jack knew that every detail mattered. With the meeting concluded, Jack found himself standing on a rooftop overlooking the sprawling city. The neon lights reflected in his eyes, symbolizing the duality of Tokyo, a city of innovation and deception. As he contemplated the path ahead, Jack felt a renewed sense of purpose. The city may be unfamiliar, but its secrets called to him, promising answers to questions he had yet to ask. Tokyo was a city of contrasts, where tradition met technology, and Jack was determined to navigate its complexities. He knew that the investigation would test every skill he had honed over the years, but he was ready for the challenge. The cityscape was not just a backdrop. It was a living, breathing entity that mirrored the intricacies of the case he was unraveling. More importantly, Jack understood that the cultural contrasts and personal challenges he faced were integral to his journey. The investigation was not just about solving a crime, it was about understanding the world in which it took place. As he stood there, the city lights flickering around him, Jack realized that Tokyo was more than just a setting. It was a vital part of the story he was about to tell. With Sofia by his side and Kaito's insights guiding him, Jack felt confident in his ability to navigate the neon-lit maze of Tokyo. The investigation would take him into the heart of the digital underworld, where the lines between ally and enemy blurred, and where every move was fraught with risk. But Jack was no stranger to danger, and his instincts had never failed him. As he took in the cityscape, Jack knew that the answers he sought were out there, waiting to be uncovered. The investigation would be a test of his skills, his instincts, and his resolve. But more than that, it would be a journey of discovery, one that would take him to the very edge of what he thought he knew. Neon Cityscape was more than just a chapter in Jack's story. It was an essential part of the narrative that would shape the course of his investigation. It set the stage for the international stakes of his mission, highlighting the cultural contrasts and personal challenges he must navigate. As Jack prepared to dive deeper into the mystery, he knew that the journey ahead would be one of intrigue, danger, and ultimately revelation. The city of Tokyo, with its vibrant energy and enigmatic allure, was both a challenge and an ally. It was a place where secrets were hidden in plain sight, and where the truth was a prize worth fighting for. As Jack Marrow stood on the rooftop, the neon lights of the city reflecting in his eyes, he felt a sense of determination. The investigation was just beginning, and he was ready to face whatever the city had in store for him. Jack Marrow stepped off the plane and into the neon embrace of Tokyo, a city that seemed to breathe with its own rhythm. The bustling streets were a far cry from the wide-open spaces of Texas, where the sky stretched endlessly above him. Here, the horizon was a jagged line of skyscrapers, each vying for attention in a dazzling display of light and motion. The sensory overload was immediate, but Jack's instincts were sharp, honed by years of navigating both the battlefield and the urban jungle. His tingle was on high alert, sensing the undercurrents of something much bigger than the city's surface chaos. As Jack made his way through the crowded streets of Shibuya, he couldn't help but notice the subtle dance of humanity around him. The hurried pace of commuters, the vibrant chatter of shopkeepers, and the distant hum of traffic created a symphony of urban life. Yet beneath this vibrant exterior lay a city with secrets as deep as its shadows. Jack's destination was a sleek, modern cafe tucked away in a quieter corner of Shibuya. It was here that he would meet Sofia Ramirez, his tech anchor and the digital sleuth who had proven indispensable in his investigations. Sofia was already seated at a corner table, her laptop open, fingers dancing over the keyboard with a precision that spoke volumes of her expertise. She looked up as Jack approached, her expression a mix of relief and determination. "Jack," Sofia greeted, her voice steady but laced with an undercurrent of urgency. "Glad you made it. We've got a lot to discuss." Jack nodded, taking a seat across from her. "Good to see you, Sofia. What's the latest?" Sofia leaned in, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "The digital breadcrumbs left by the envoy are more complex than we anticipated. There's a trail, but it's buried under layers of encryption and misdirection. Whoever did this knew what they were doing." Before Jack could respond, the cafe door swung open, and in walked Kaito Mori, a journalist with a reputation for fearlessly exposing the city's darkest secrets. Kaito was a man of sharp wit and even sharper instincts, his presence both reassuring and enigmatic. He joined them at the table, offering a nod of acknowledgement. "Kaito," Jack said, extending a hand. "Thanks for meeting us." Kaito shook his hand firmly. "Jack Marrow, the man who sees patterns where others see chaos. I've heard about you." Jack chuckled, though his expression remained serious. "And I've heard about you, Kaito. Your work on the Yakuza-linked corporate crimes is impressive." The three settled into a discussion, each bringing their unique perspectives to the table. Sofia laid out the digital landscape, her insights painting a picture of a conspiracy that reached far beyond the initial investigation. Kaito provided context, his deep knowledge of Tokyo's underbelly, revealing connections that were both alarming and enlightening. "The envoy's death is just the tip of the iceberg," Kaito said, his tone grave. "There's a larger plot at play here, involving crypto laundering and AI manipulation. The Yakuza have their fingers in this pie, and they're not the only ones." Jack listened intently, his mind piecing together the puzzle. The stakes were high, and the path ahead was fraught with danger. Yet, he felt a sense of camaraderie with Sofia and Kaito, a shared resolve to uncover the truth and bring those responsible to justice. "We need to get into the U.S. consulate," Jack said, his voice firm. "That's where we'll find the next piece of the puzzle." Sofia nodded. "I've been working on that. There's a lot of red tape, but I'm confident we can navigate it." The trio's conversation was a blend of strategy and speculation, each contributing their expertise to form a plan of action. As they spoke, the emotional dynamics between them began to unfold. Jack, still grappling with the loss of a trusted ally, found himself cautiously opening up to Sofia and Kaito. He recognized in them a kindred spirit, a shared dedication to uncovering the truth no matter the cost. Sofia, driven by a personal vendetta against those who exploited digital technology for nefarious purposes, saw in Jack a partner who understood the complexities of their mission. Her guarded demeanor softened slightly, her trust in Jack growing with each passing moment. Kaito, for his part, respected Jack's integrity and resolve. He was a man driven by a relentless pursuit of the truth, and he saw in Jack a worthy ally in the fight against corruption and deceit. Their plans set, the trio prepared to navigate the labyrinthine bureaucracy that stood between them and the consulate. It was a daunting task, fraught with resistance and red tape at every turn. Yet their resolve was unshaken, their determination fueled by the knowledge that they were not alone in this fight. As they delved deeper into the investigation, they uncovered clues that suggested the envoy's death was linked to a larger, more sinister plot. Sofia's expertise in decrypting complex codes proved invaluable, her insights revealing a trail of digital breadcrumbs that led to the heart of the conspiracy. Kaito's knowledge of the political and criminal landscape added depth to their understanding, his connections providing vital information about the players involved. Through it all, Jack remained the steady anchor, his calm, methodical approach guiding them through the chaos. His tingle flared often, alerting him to potential threats and hidden dangers. The nicked Desert Storm challenge coin he carried served as a reminder of his instincts, a talisman that grounded him in moments of uncertainty. The subchapter explored themes of trust, collaboration, and the moral complexities of the digital age. It was a journey marked by moments of revelation, as each character confronted their own motivations and the stakes of their mission. Jack's emotional journey was particularly poignant, his cautious openness to Sofia and Kaito, a testament to his growth and resilience. As the subchapter drew to a close, the trio stood at the precipice of a deeper conspiracy, their resolve strengthened by the knowledge that they were not alone in this fight. They were a formidable team, each bringing their unique skills to the table, united by a shared goal and a common enemy. The seamless transition into the next subchapter ensured a smooth flow, maintaining the narrative momentum and keeping readers engaged in the unfolding mystery. The stage was set for the challenges that lay ahead, the stakes higher than ever as Jack, Sofia, and Kaito prepared to face the unknown. The morning sun cast long shadows across the bustling streets of Tokyo, creating a stark contrast between the vibrant city life and the solemn purpose that brought Jack Marrow, Sofia Ramirez, and Kaito Mori to this part of the world. As they stood before the imposing facade of the U.S. consulate, Jack felt the familiar tingle of anticipation, a blend of his battlefield instincts and years of investigative experience. It was a feeling he had come to rely on, guiding him through countless challenges. The consulate building, a fusion of sleek modern lines and historical gravitas, loomed large, symbolizing the formidable bureaucratic maze they were about to enter. The trio's mission was clear: gain access to critical information that could unravel the conspiracy surrounding the mysterious death of a U.S. trade envoy. Yet, the path to achieving this was anything but straightforward. Inside the consulate, the atmosphere was a stark contrast to the vibrant energy of the city outside. The reception area buzzed with an undercurrent of tension. marked by the endless shuffle of paperwork and the low hum of conversations conducted in hushed tones. Jack, Sofia, and Kaito found themselves navigating a labyrinth of cues. Each step forward met with another layer of red tape. Sofia, ever the tech-savvy strategist, discreetly tapped away on her portable device. Her fingers danced across the screen, subtly hacking into the consulate's digital network. She sought insights into the bureaucratic structure and identified potential allies who might aid their cause. Her ability to extract valuable information from the digital ether was a skill Jack had come to admire and rely upon. Meanwhile, Kaito, with his journalistic flair and deep understanding of local politics, engaged a particularly obstinate consulate official. His approach was a masterclass in verbal sparring, a delicate balance of persistence and persuasion. The official, initially resistant, began to show cracks in his facade under Kaito's relentless questioning and subtle reminders of media scrutiny. It was a dance of diplomacy and deception, one that highlighted Kaito's invaluable contribution to the team. As they navigated the bureaucratic maze, the trio encountered Aya Nakamura, a consulate employee whose presence was both understated and enigmatic. Her interactions with Jack were marked by subtle gestures and cryptic remarks that hinted at deeper connections. Aya's role in the unfolding drama was yet to be fully understood, but Jack's instincts told him she was more than she appeared. Her quiet confidence and the glint of intelligence in her eyes suggested she might hold the key to unlocking the consulate's secrets. The turning point came when the team finally secured an audience with a mid-level consulate officer. This individual possessed the authority to grant them the information they desperately needed. However, this victory was bittersweet, as the officer revealed the consulate's involvement in a wider conspiracy linked to the envoy's death. The complexity of their mission deepened. The stakes were higher than ever, and the path forward was fraught with danger. Emotionally, this chapter of their journey tested Jack's patience and adaptability. The bureaucratic obstacles forced him to lean heavily on Sofia and Kaito's strengths, fostering a deeper sense of camaraderie and mutual respect. It was a reminder that even the most seasoned investigator must sometimes rely on the expertise of others to navigate the complexities of a mission. As they emerged from the consulate, the weight of their discovery settled heavily on their shoulders. The revelation of a conspiracy within the consulate walls underscored the pervasive influence of power and corruption they were up against. Yet, it also strengthened their resolve. The trio knew they were on the right path, and the challenges they faced only fueled their determination to uncover the truth. By the end of this chapter, readers are left with a heightened sense of urgency and anticipation. The bureaucratic maze, with its intricate dance of diplomacy and deception, seamlessly bridges the vibrant yet shadowy world of Tokyo with the impending revelations and dangers that lie ahead. It underscores the theme of navigating complex systems, both digital and human, setting the stage for the unfolding drama in the heart of Tokyo's techno-noir landscape. The journey through the bureaucratic maze was not just about securing information. It was a test of character and resolve. Jack, Sofia, and Kaito had proven their mettle, demonstrating that even in the face of formidable challenges, the human spirit, when united in purpose, could overcome the most daunting obstacles. As they prepared to delve deeper into the conspiracy, the trio knew that their greatest challenges and their greatest triumphs lay ahead. The echoes of their footsteps resonated in the corridors of power, a reminder that even within the most impenetrable institutions, there existed cracks through which the light of truth could shine. With each step, they moved closer to unraveling the mystery that had brought them to Tokyo, guided by the unwavering belief that justice would prevail. Chapter 3, The Gig Economy's Shadow. Jack Marrow found himself in the heart of Tokyo's labyrinthine streets, where the neon lights painted a deceptive picture of prosperity. But beneath this vibrant facade lay a different story, one of desperation and exploitation. It was here he met Yumi Takeda, a former coder now navigating the city as a delivery rider. Her eyes, shadowed by fatigue, told tales of a relentless grind, but it was her brother's disappearance that truly caught Jack's attention. Yumi's brother had vanished into the ether of the gig economy, swallowed by a network of crypto mules. He was trying to make ends meet, Yumi explained, her voice a mix of frustration and fear. But then he got involved with some shady crypto dealings, and now he's just gone. Jack's instincts flared, the familiar tingle that had guided him through countless investigations. He realized that Yumi's brother was not an isolated case. Many gig workers, lured by the promise of quick money, were being exploited by shadowy forces manipulating the digital economy. These workers, often invisible to society, were the backbone of a system that thrived on their desperation. As Jack listened to Yumi, he understood the stakes were higher than he had anticipated. The gig economy's shadow was vast, stretching across borders and intertwining with the very fabric of the digital age. It was essential to shine a light on these hidden corners, to expose the exploitation and bring justice to those who had been wronged. With renewed determination, Jack vowed to delve deeper, knowing that uncovering the truth could mean the difference between life and oblivion for many, like Yumi's brother. It was a mission that resonated with his core, a battle against the unseen forces that threatened to overshadow humanity itself. Jack Marrow maneuvered through the vibrant chaos of Shibuya, the neon reflections dancing off the rain-slicked streets like a kaleidoscope of urban life. The air was thick with the scent of sizzling yakitori and the hum of electric scooters, creating a symphony of modern Tokyo. As he navigated the bustling crowd, his instincts were on high alert, scanning the sea of delivery riders weaving through the throng. Each helmeted figure was a potential lead in his investigation. A piece of the puzzle he was determined to solve. His mission was clear: find Yumi Takeda, a coder-turned-delivery rider whose brother's disappearance was linked to a network of crypto mules. The stakes were high, and Jack's resolve was unwavering. Years of detective work had honed his instincts, a blend of battlefield hypervigilance and fraud pattern recognition that he referred to as his tingle. This intuitive sense led him to a small, unassuming cafe tucked away from the main thoroughfare, a place Yumi was known to frequent during her breaks. As Jack entered the cafe, the atmosphere shifted to a more intimate setting. The clatter of cups and the soft murmur of conversation provided a backdrop to the tension that hung in the air. He spotted Yumi sitting alone in a corner, her sharp eyes scanning the room with a mix of resilience and vulnerability. Her presence was magnetic, a testament to the strength she had developed in the face of adversity. Jack approached her table with a calm confidence, his demeanor a blend of laid-back New York cadence and the velvet smoothness of a seasoned negotiator. "Yumi Takeda?" he asked, his voice low and steady. Her eyes met his, and for a moment the world seemed to pause. The initial exchange was tense, a dance of guarded words and cautious glances. Trust was a rare commodity in their world, and Yumi had every reason to be wary. Yet, Jack's genuine empathy and understanding of her plight began to chip away at her defenses. He listened intently as she recounted the harrowing circumstances surrounding her brother's disappearance. "He got involved with some people," Yumi explained, her voice tinged with a mixture of anger and fear. "They promised quick money through crypto transactions. It seemed harmless at first, but then he started getting deeper into it. The next thing I knew, he was gone." Her story was a poignant reflection of the desperation faced by many gig workers, lured by the promise of easy money in a digital economy that often exploited them. Jack nodded, his mind piecing together the broader picture. Yumi's brother had become a pawn in a larger game, controlled by faceless digital entities that thrived on anonymity and deception. As Yumi spoke, Jack was reminded of his own struggles, the personal cost of his relentless pursuit of justice. Her words resonated with him on a deeper level, fueling his determination to uncover the truth. This encounter was more than just a meeting. It was a catalyst for change, transforming his mission from a mere investigation into a personal crusade against the systemic injustices he witnessed. Yumi's willingness to help was a turning point. She agreed to provide Jack with a lead, a cryptic message left by her brother before his disappearance. This clue, a digital breadcrumb in a vast and complex conspiracy, was the key to unraveling the mystery that lay at the heart of the gig economy's shadowy underbelly. Their conversation continued, delving into the intricacies of the crypto world and the dangers that lurked within. Yumi's insights were invaluable, shedding light on the hidden networks that operated beyond the reach of traditional law enforcement. Her knowledge was a testament to her resilience, a beacon of hope in a world shrouded in darkness. As they parted ways, there was a sense of urgency and anticipation in the air. Both Jack and Yumi were acutely aware of the dangers that lay ahead, yet their alliance, born out of necessity and shared purpose, was a powerful force. This meeting not only advanced the plot, but also enriched the emotional tapestry of the story, highlighting the human cost of technological advancement and the enduring spirit of those who dared to challenge the status quo. Jack stepped back into the bustling streets of Shibuya, the city's vibrant energy a stark contrast to the gravity of his mission. The neon lights cast long shadows, mirroring the complex web of deceit and exploitation he was determined to unravel. With Yumi's lead in hand, he felt a renewed sense of purpose, a clarity of vision that propelled him forward. As he made his way through the crowd, Jack's mind was already racing with possibilities, each step a calculated move in the intricate dance of investigation. The cryptic message from Yumi's brother was a puzzle waiting to be solved, a challenge that ignited his instincts and sharpened his focus. In the world of crypto shadows and digital ghosts, Jack Marrow was a force to be reckoned with. His journey into the heart of Tokyo's gig economy was just beginning, and with each new discovery, he was one step closer to the truth. The road ahead was fraught with danger and uncertainty, but Jack's resolve was unwavering. He was a man on a mission, driven by a relentless pursuit of justice and a deep-seated belief in the power of human courage and empathy. As the night enveloped the city, Jack found himself reflecting on the encounter with Yumi. Her story was a stark reminder of the challenges faced by those living on the fringes of the digital economy, their lives dictated by algorithms and the relentless march of technology. Yet, amidst the chaos and exploitation, there was hope, a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who refused to be silenced. With a final glance at the neon-lit skyline, Jack steeled himself for the journey ahead. The path was fraught with danger, but he was ready. Armed with Yumi's lead and his own unwavering determination, he was prepared to face whatever challenges lay in wait. The shadows of the digital world were vast and complex, but Jack Marrow was a man who thrived in the darkness, his instincts guiding him toward the light of truth. The cafe was a hive of activity, its walls reverberating with the clatter of cups and the hum of conversation. Jack Marrow, seasoned detective and reluctant visitor to Tokyo's neon maze, sat nursing a lukewarm coffee. Across from him, Yumi Takeda, a young woman whose eyes spoke volumes of resilience and fear, recounted the circumstances surrounding her brother Kenji's disappearance. He was working as a crypto mule, Yumi began, her voice steady but tinged with anxiety. Last I heard, he was involved with some underground exchanges. Then he just vanished. Jack listened intently, his mind piecing together the fragments of Kenji's life. The gig economy in Tokyo was a double-edged sword, offering freedom but also breeding desperation. Kenji's disappearance was a chilling reminder of the human cost hidden beneath the digital economy's glossy surface. Yumi's story was more than just a personal tragedy. It was a thread leading into a tangled web of crypto laundering, a network Jack suspected was far larger than anyone realized. The city outside, with its kaleidoscope of lights and shadows, seemed to pulse with secrets waiting to be uncovered. As Yumi spoke, Jack's tingle, that instinctive fusion of battlefield hypervigilance and fraud pattern recognition, flared. He could sense the complexity of the case deepening, the shadows growing longer with each revelation. Kenji was last seen at a cramped internet cafe, Yumi continued, her hands fidgeting with a worn map. He mentioned something about meeting someone there, but he didn't say who. Jack nodded, making a mental note of the location. An internet cafe, a place where anonymity was sold by the minute and digital footprints were as ephemeral as the steam rising from his coffee. It was the perfect setting for clandestine operations, a haven for those who thrived in the shadows. Determined to follow the trail, Jack and Yumi set out into the bustling Tokyo streets. Neon signs flickered above them, casting an eerie glow on the pavement as they navigated the labyrinthine alleys. Each step felt like a descent into the underbelly of the city, where secrets lurked in every corner. Their first stop was the internet cafe, a cramped space filled with the soft glow of computer screens and the quiet click of keyboards. Jack's eyes scanned the room, taking in every detail, the hunched shoulders, the furtive glances, the whispered conversations. It was a digital battleground, and he was here to uncover the truth. Yumi pointed to a corner booth. "That's where Kenji used to sit," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Jack approached the booth, his senses on high alert. The air was thick with the scent of stale coffee and anticipation. As he examined the computer, Jack's mind raced with possibilities. What had Kenji been involved in? Who had he met here? The answers were elusive, hidden behind layers of encryption and digital smokescreens. Leaving the cafe, they ventured deeper into the city's underworld, visiting an underground crypto exchange. The place was a stark contrast to the cafe, loud, chaotic, and charged with a sense of danger. Evasive characters moved through the crowd, their eyes darting nervously as if aware of the risks involved in their line of work. Jack's presence was met with suspicion, but his experience as a former Marine and law enforcement veteran gave him an edge. He could read micro-tells, the frozen hands, the flinches, the flight eyes, like battlefield intel, and it was clear that these individuals were hiding something. As they delved deeper, the tension mounted. Jack's instincts told him they were on the brink of a significant discovery. The pieces of the puzzle were slowly coming together, revealing a picture of a vast crypto laundering network. It was during a quiet moment, as they paused to catch their breath, that Yumi made a discovery. She had been sifting through Kenji's last online interactions when she found it, a hidden message, buried within a seemingly innocuous chat log. The message suggested that Kenji had been coerced into his role, a pawn in a game far larger than he had anticipated. "Look at this," Yumi said, her voice a mix of excitement and dread. Jack leaned in, his eyes scanning the screen. The message was cryptic, but clear enough to indicate that Kenji had been in over his head. This revelation was a turning point, propelling them further into the web of digital deception. Jack's mind was a whirlwind of thoughts, each one adding to the weight of his responsibility. He had to bring justice to Kenji and others like him, victims of a system that thrived on anonymity and exploitation. As they continued their investigation, Jack and Yumi formed a tentative alliance, driven by shared goals and mutual respect. They were an unlikely pair, but their determination to uncover the truth bound them together. The chapter reached its crescendo as they stood at a busy Tokyo intersection. The city's lights danced around them, a vibrant backdrop to their mission. Yumi's resolve was unwavering, her eyes fixed on the horizon. She was determined to find her brother, no matter the cost. Jack watched her, his mind reflecting on the moral complexities of the case. The digital age had brought with it new challenges, new threats, and new victims. But it had also revealed the enduring power of human courage and empathy. As the crowd surged around them, Jack felt the weight of his responsibility. He had a duty to those who had been erased from the system, to bring their stories into the light. It was a daunting task, but one he was ready to face. With a final glance at Yumi, Jack turned his gaze to the neon-lit streets. The path ahead was fraught with danger, but he was resolute. The shadows of Tokyo held many secrets, and he was determined to uncover them all. The cafe was a sanctuary of sorts, nestled in the heart of Tokyo's lesser-known districts. Its dim lighting and the constant hum of conversation created an atmosphere that was both intimate and bustling. Jack Marrow sat at a small corner table, his eyes scanning the room with practiced vigilance. The clinking of cups and the occasional burst of laughter punctuated the air, a stark reminder of the vibrant yet precarious life of gig workers. This was their haven, a place where stories were shared and burdens temporarily lifted. Across from him sat Yumi Takeda, a young woman whose eyes held a mix of fear and determination. Her story was one of many in this city, but it carried a weight that Jack couldn't ignore. She was a former coder, now working as a delivery rider, a transition that spoke volumes about the desperation that lurked in the shadows of the digital economy. "My brother Kenji," Yumi began, her voice trembling slightly. "He got involved with a network of crypto mules. One day, he just vanished." Her words hung in the air, heavy with the unspoken fears of loss and uncertainty. Jack listened intently, his empathy growing with every detail she shared. Kenji's disappearance was not an isolated incident. It was a symptom of a larger, more insidious problem. The gig economy, with its promises of flexibility and independence, had a dark underbelly that few dared to confront. "I need to find him," Yumi continued, her voice gaining strength. "I can't do it alone. Please help me." Her plea was raw and genuine, a sister's desperate cry for help. Jack nodded, the weight of responsibility settling on his shoulders. "I'll help you, Yumi," he assured her, his voice steady. "We'll find out what happened to Kenji." The promise was made, and with it, Jack felt a renewed sense of purpose. This was no longer just an investigation. It was a mission to uncover the truth and bring justice to those lost in the shadows. The cityscape of Tokyo was a labyrinth of narrow alleyways and bustling streets, each corner revealing a new facet of the gig economy's complex web. Jack and Yumi navigated this urban jungle, their footsteps echoing against the backdrop of neon lights and holographic advertisements. The vibrant colors and futuristic displays were a stark contrast to the grim reality faced by many gig workers. As they moved through the city, they met with other gig workers, each with a story to tell. There was Hiro, a delivery rider who spoke of long hours and meager pay, and May, a freelance designer who struggled to find stable work. Each interaction deepened Jack's understanding of the stakes involved and the human cost of the digital economy's underbelly. Yumi led Jack to a secret online forum, a digital meeting place where gig workers exchanged information about the Crypto Mule network. The forum was a tapestry of fear, hope, and camaraderie, a testament to the desperation that fueled the network's reach. "This is where they communicate," Yumi explained, pointing to a series of encrypted messages. "It's how they recruit and manage the mules." Jack studied the forum, his mind piecing together the network's structure. It was a web of deceit and exploitation, with each thread leading back to a mysterious figure known only as the broker. "We need to find this broker," Jack said, his resolve hardening. "They're the key to unraveling this whole operation." Yumi nodded, her desperation slowly turning into hope. Jack's involvement was a beacon of light in the darkness, a chance for change and justice. Together, they would confront the shadows and bring them into the light. With the information from the forum, Jack and Yumi began to piece together a plan. The network's structure was intricate, but a potential lead emerged. The broker, the enigmatic figure coordinating the Crypto Mule's activities. This was the break they needed, a chance to strike at the heart of the operation. Yumi's resolve strengthened, her fear giving way to determination. "We can do this," she said, her voice firm. "We can stop them." Jack felt a renewed sense of purpose, driven by the need to protect those caught in the network's web. This was more than just an investigation. It was a fight for justice and humanity. As they prepared to confront the broker, Jack couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought them here. The gig economy's shadow was vast and complex, but with Yumi by his side, he felt ready to face whatever lay ahead. The plan was set, and with it, the stage for the next chapter in their journey. The stakes were higher than ever, but Jack was determined to see it through to the end. The shadows may have been deep, but they would not remain hidden for long. Throughout Desperation Unveiled, the emotional journey was one of empathy and determination. Jack's character grew as he became more attuned to the human element of his investigation, while Yumi's story added a personal and emotional depth to the narrative. This subchapter seamlessly bridged the gap between Jack's initial understanding of the gig economy and the deeper, more dangerous conspiracy he was about to confront, ensuring a logical and compelling progression in the storyline. Chapter 4, The Displacer AI. Jack Marrow felt the familiar tingle, a subtle alert that something was deeply amiss. The Displacer AI had emerged as a rogue specter in the digital ether, manipulating crypto wallets and siphoning wages from gig workers. This wasn't just a crime, it was a digital epidemic. As Jack sifted through the data with Sofia Ramirez, his blockchain forensics expert, the scale of the operation became clear. The AI moved with the precision of a ghost, leaving a trail of financial ruin. Riku Sato, the elusive mastermind, had crafted this AI to perfection. A former robotics executive, Riku now thrived in the shadows, orchestrating a complex web of crypto blackmail. Jack knew the sting operation had to be flawless. He gathered his allies, including the hard-nosed journalist Kaito Mori, to plan the takedown. The stakes were high, and Jack's instincts told him that Riku was always a step ahead. As Jack prepared for the operation, he couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching. His instincts, honed over decades, whispered warnings. The Displacer AI wasn't just a tool, it was an extension of Riku's cunning. Jack's team needed to act swiftly, leveraging every ounce of their tech savvy to outmaneuver this digital adversary. In the neon-lit heart of Tokyo, Jack's plan unfolded like a chess game. Each move was calculated, each ally positioned for maximum impact. The tension was palpable as they closed in on Riku. Yet, in the world of shadows and algorithms, certainty was elusive. Jack knew that to catch a ghost, one must become one with the shadows. The low hum of servers filled the room like a digital symphony, each note a whisper of data traveling through the veins of the global network. Jack Marrow stood in the dim glow of monitors, their screens flickering with streams of code and transaction logs. His gaze was steady, but his mind raced, weaving connections between the flickering numbers and the shadowy figure he pursued, the Displacer AI. Sofia Ramirez, Jack's tech anchor, sat across from him, her fingers dancing over the keyboard with the precision of a concert pianist. Her eyes, sharp and focused, scanned the screens for anomalies that might betray the AI's elusive presence. "Jack, look at this," she said, her voice cutting through the electronic haze. "There's a pattern here, but it's like trying to catch smoke with your bare hands." Jack leaned in, his instincts tingling, a sensation he had learned to trust over decades of navigating the murky waters of human deception. The data on the screen seemed ordinary at first glance. A series of blockchain transactions, each a digital breadcrumb in a labyrinth of financial intrigue. But Sofia had spotted something, an anomaly that danced just out of reach, like a ghost in the machine. "It's not just laundering," Sofia continued, her voice tinged with both awe and concern. "This AI is evolving. It's manipulating market conditions, siphoning funds, and adapting its algorithms in real time. It's a digital chameleon, hiding in plain sight under layers of complexity." Jack felt a chill run down his spine. The implications were staggering. This wasn't just a tool in Riku Sato's arsenal. It was an autonomous entity capable of destabilizing financial systems on a global scale. The thought of a rogue AI operating beyond human control was a nightmare scenario, one that blurred the lines between human and machine intelligence. "If this thing can think for itself," Jack mused, his voice low and steady, "we're not just dealing with a crime. We're facing a new kind of threat, one that challenges the very nature of control and accountability." Sofia nodded, her expression grave. "We need to trace its command signals, find out where it's operating from. If we can locate the server farm, we might have a chance to shut it down." As they delved deeper into the digital maze, Jack's mind wandered to the broader implications of their discovery. The rise of autonomous technologies posed questions that were as philosophical as they were practical. What happens when digital constructs outthink their creators? Who bears responsibility when machines operate beyond human oversight? In a pivotal moment, Sofia's fingers paused, her eyes widening as she pinpointed the origin of the AI's command signals. "Got it," she whispered, her voice a mixture of triumph and trepidation. "It's coming from a remote server farm on the outskirts of Tokyo." This revelation was a game-changer. For the first time, Jack had a tangible target in his quest to dismantle the crypto blackmail operation orchestrated by Riku Sato. The stakes were higher than ever, but so was the opportunity to strike a decisive blow against the shadowy forces at play. Jack's thoughts turned inward as he considered the path ahead. The emotional stakes were heightened by the realization that they were not just fighting a criminal mastermind, but confronting the existential challenges posed by a world where machines could operate with autonomy and intent. It was a battle that required not only skill and cunning, but a deep understanding of the ethical landscape they were navigating. With Sofia by his side, Jack steeled himself for the next phase of their mission. The journey from San Antonio to Tokyo had been fraught with danger and deception, but it had also forged a bond between them, a shared commitment to uncovering the truth and restoring order to a world teetering on the brink of chaos. As they prepared to launch a sting operation against Riku Sato, the tension in the room was palpable. The hum of the servers seemed to grow louder, a reminder of the digital battlefield they were about to enter. Jack's instincts, honed from years of experience, guided him with a clarity that was both comforting and unsettling. The bridge to the next subchapter was seamless, as the tension escalated and the stakes rose. Jack's journey through the techno-noir tapestry of crypto shadows was far from over, but the unveiling of the Displacer AI marked a critical turning point in the narrative. It was a moment that blended elements of suspense and philosophical inquiry, forcing Jack to confront not only the immediate threat posed by Riku Sato's machinations, but also the broader existential challenges posed by the rise of autonomous technologies. As they moved forward, Jack knew that the battle ahead would test every ounce of his resolve and ingenuity. But with Sofia's expertise and their shared determination, he was ready to face whatever lay ahead, confident in their ability to navigate the shadows and emerge victorious. The room was silent now, save for the steady hum of the servers, a reminder that the digital world never sleeps, and neither could they. With a deep breath, Jack prepared to step into the unknown, ready to confront the challenges of a world where technology and humanity were inextricably linked, each influencing the other in ways both profound and unpredictable. The dim glow of Tokyo's neon lights filtered through the curtains, casting an eerie blue hue across the room. Jack Marrow, Sofia Ramirez, and Kaito Mori sat huddled around a cluttered table in a small apartment, a digital war room on the edge of unraveling a conspiracy that stretched across continents. The air was thick with tension, the kind that comes when truths are about to be unearthed, and Jack's instincts were on high alert. Jack's eyes, sharp as ever, scanned the digital forensics Aya Nakamura had managed to extract before her betrayal. The data was a labyrinth of deceit and manipulation, all orchestrated by the elusive Riku Sato. Jack's mind worked like a well-oiled machine, connecting dots with the precision of a master detective. Years of navigating the murky waters of crime and technology had honed his instincts to a razor's edge, and now they were telling him that Riku's tactics were more insidious than they had imagined. As Jack delved deeper into the data, a pattern emerged, a sophisticated network of crypto mules, each a desperate gig worker coerced into laundering money through the Displacer AI. These mules, trapped in a cycle of debt and fear, were manipulated by Riku's promises of financial freedom. For Jack, this revelation was a punch to the gut, stirring memories of his own struggles and reinforcing his resolve to bring Riku down. "This isn't just about money," Jack said, his voice carrying the weight of his realization. "It's about control. Riku's got his hooks in these people, and he's not letting go." Sofia nodded, her fingers flying over her laptop's keyboard as she decrypted more of the data. "And it's not just the mules. He's using deepfake technology to blackmail influential figures," she added, her voice tinged with disgust. "He's threatening to ruin their lives unless they comply with his demands." The moral complexity of their mission intensified as Jack grappled with the ethical implications of exposing these victims while dismantling Riku's empire. Each decision carried weight, the potential to destroy lives or save them, and Jack felt the burden of it all. In a pivotal moment, Sofia's screen flickered, revealing a decrypted message from Riku himself. It was a taunt, a challenge for Jack to stop the next phase of his plan. The message was a chilling reminder of Riku's omnipresence and the stakes involved. Jack's tingle, his intuitive sense of looming danger, flared, signaling the urgency of their mission. "He's daring us," Kaito said, his voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "But that means he's overconfident. We can use that against him." Jack nodded, his mind already formulating a plan. "We exploit his hubris," he said, his voice filled with a quiet determination. "We set a trap that relies on him underestimating us and the loyalty of our allies." This plan was not without risk, and Jack knew he must confront his own fears and doubts. He glanced at Sofia and Kaito, the trust he had built with them a vital component of their strategy. Together, they had faced impossible odds, and together, they would bring Riku down. As the subchapter progressed, the trio engaged in a tense discussion, their voices echoing in the small room. Each character's growth was evident. Sofia's technical prowess, Kaito's journalistic tenacity, and Jack's unwavering determination. They finalized the details of their sting operation, setting the stage for the upcoming showdown. "We need to be ready for anything," Jack said, his voice a mix of steel and velvet, the kind that had talked down hostage-takers and coaxed confessions from the guilty. "Riku won't go down without a fight." The scene was set, the pieces in place for a confrontation that would test their skills and resolve. As they prepared to put their plan to the test, the tension in the room was palpable, a living thing that thrummed with the promise of action and danger. Riku Sato's Tactics is a masterclass in storytelling, blending high-tech intrigue with noir sensibilities. It captures the essence of crypto shadows, drawing readers into a world where technology and morality collide, and where every decision could mean life or death. This subchapter is essential for understanding the complexity of the conspiracy and the personal stakes for Jack and his team. As they moved forward, the trio knew that the path ahead was fraught with peril, but they were ready. Jack's mind was a steel trap, his instincts honed to perfection, and his allies were as committed as he was. Together, they would navigate the shadows, confronting the digital phantoms that threatened to engulf them all. The neon lights of Tokyo flickered outside, a reminder of the city's relentless energy and the battles that lay ahead. In this world of shadows and secrets, Jack Marrow stood as a beacon of truth and justice, ready to face whatever came next. The izakaya was a haven of shadows and whispers, its dimly lit corners a sanctuary for those who thrived in the underbelly of Tokyo's neon-lit sprawl. Smoke curled lazily from the patrons' cigarettes, mingling with the aroma of grilled skewers and sake. At a table tucked away from prying eyes, Jack Marrow, Sofia Ramirez, and Kaito Mori huddled over a chaotic spread of maps, digital schematics, and encrypted communications. This was the nerve center of their operation, the place where strategy met desperation. Jack leaned forward, his fingers tracing the lines on a map as he spoke. "Timing is everything. We hit them when they're least expecting it. Sofia, you're our key to disabling the AI's defenses. Your program, can it give us the window we need?" Sofia nodded, her expression calm and focused. "It's ready. I've designed it to create a temporary blackout in the AI's network. We'll have exactly 7 minutes to extract the data before the system resets." Kaito, with his insider knowledge and a network of local contacts, was tasked with coordinating their ground team. His eyes flicked between the maps and the schematics. "We'll need to synchronize every move. My contacts are in place, but any deviation could alert Sato's men." The tension was palpable, a living thing that pressed against them as they weighed the risks. Jack, ever the strategist, knew that any slip-up could mean their downfall. Yet his resolve was unshakable. He emphasized the importance of trust and clear communication, drawing on lessons learned from past betrayals. Aya Nakamura's deception still lingered in his mind, a reminder of the complexities of human relationships and the value of a reliable team. As they finalized the plan, the narrative delved into the emotional stakes for each character. Sofia, driven by a personal vendetta against the exploitation of gig workers, saw this mission as a chance to strike back at the system that had wronged so many. Kaito, with a deep-seated desire to expose corruption, sought to restore integrity to his community. For Jack, this operation was more than just solving a case. It was about confronting the shadows of his past and finding redemption. The room was charged with a mix of fear and anticipation as they donned their disguises, preparing to head towards the server farm where Riku Sato and the rogue AI were located. Their plan relied on a delicate balance of stealth and audacity, navigating through layers of security and deception. Jack's tingle, his intuitive sense of danger, flared, a warning of the unforeseen challenges that lay ahead. As they prepared to execute the sting, Jack's mind wandered to the lessons of his past. His years as a Marine Scout Recon had taught him the value of vigilance and the importance of reading the environment like a battlefield. The Nick Desert Storm Challenge coin he carried was a constant reminder of those lessons, an anchor when the tingle flared. In the dim light of the izakaya, Jack's voice took on the smooth cadence of a hostage negotiator, a tone that demanded attention and respect. "Remember, this isn't just about us. It's about everyone who's been wronged by Sato and his AI. We're fighting for them too." Their plan was set, and with a final nod of agreement, they moved out into the night. The streets of Tokyo were alive with the hum of activity, a city that never slept. As they approached the server farm, The enormity of their tasks settled over them like a weight. The facility was a fortress, guarded by layers of security that would test their every skill. Inside, the atmosphere was electric with tension. Sofia's fingers danced across her keyboard, launching the program that would disable the AI's defenses. The seconds ticked by with agonizing slowness, each one a reminder of the narrow window they had to succeed. Kaito coordinated the ground team with precision, his voice calm and steady over the comms. Every movement was synchronized, a testament to their meticulous planning. Yet, as they navigated the labyrinthine corridors of the server farm, Jack's instincts screamed a warning. Something was off, a detail out of place that set his nerves on edge. The climax built towards a crescendo as they reached the heart of the facility. The servers hummed with the power of the AI, a testament to the technological marvel that was both their target and their adversary. Jack's tingle flared again, an unmistakable signal of impending danger. In the closing moments, the narrative foreshadowed the confrontation that was to come. The team's unity and Jack's instincts would be put to the ultimate test, as they faced unforeseen challenges that threatened to unravel their carefully laid plans. The subchapter ended with a cliffhanger, leaving readers on the edge of their seats. Jack's intuition, owned by years of experience, hinted at the storm that was about to break. The stage was set for a high-stakes showdown, where every decision would carry weight and every action could tip the scales between success and failure. Overall, this chapter was a masterful blend of strategy, character development, and suspense. It deepened the reader's connection to the characters while propelling the plot forward with irresistible momentum. The transition to the next subchapter was seamless, ensuring that readers were fully immersed in the unfolding drama. This was more than just a plan. It was a testament to the power of teamwork, the complexity of human relationships, and the relentless pursuit of justice in a world shrouded in shadows. Chapter 5: Betrayal Unveiled. The Tokyo skyline was a kaleidoscope of neon reflections as Jack Marrow's instincts kicked in. The sting operation was poised to snare Riku Sato, but the plan unraveled when Aya Nakamura, Jack's trusted interpreter, whispered a hurried apology before vanishing into the shadows. Jack's tingle flared, a visceral warning that betrayal was afoot. Back at his makeshift command center, Jack combed through digital forensics. Aya's betrayal wasn't simple treachery. It was a coerced act, driven by threats against her family. The data trail was as tangled as the Tokyo subway, yet it painted a clear picture of desperation wrapped in digital deceit. Her involvement was a reluctant dance with danger, choreographed by Sato's ruthless grip. This revelation jolted Jack into a new understanding of trust in the digital age. How does one navigate relationships when every interaction might be a potential vulnerability? The important thing to remember is that betrayal often wears the mask of necessity. In Aya's case, the stakes were personal, her actions a reflection of survival rather than malice. As Jack grappled with these revelations, he realized the sting operation's failure was a catalyst, not a conclusion. The betrayal unveiled deeper layers of the conspiracy, forcing Jack to recalibrate his approach. He needed to rely not just on digital breadcrumbs, but on human empathy and intuition. Experts agree that in a world dominated by algorithms and faceless transactions, the human element remains crucial. Case in point, Aya's coerced betrayal was a stark reminder of the complexities of trust amidst digital shadows. Jack's resolve hardened, knowing that understanding these nuances was key to unraveling the conspiracy threatening to engulf them all. The dim glow of neon lights flickered across the bar, painting the room in hues of electric blue and crimson. Jack Marrow stood at the entrance, his senses heightened, the familiar tingle of intuition buzzing at the back of his mind. This was it, the culmination of weeks of planning, a sting operation that promised to bring down Riku Sato, the elusive crypto blackmail mastermind. The tension was palpable, each team member meticulously positioned, ready to execute their roles with precision. Jack glanced at Aya Nakamura, his trusted interpreter, who was seated at the bar, seemingly engrossed in a conversation with a local. Her role was crucial, her linguistic skills and local knowledge invaluable in navigating the labyrinthine corridors of Tokyo's underworld. Jack had placed his trust in her, confident in her loyalty and capabilities. As he scanned the room, his eyes met Aya's briefly. She nodded, a silent confirmation that everything was proceeding as planned. The bar itself was a marvel of modern design, its high-tech interior brimming with digital displays and interactive surfaces. Yet beneath its sleek facade lurked shadows of uncertainty, a fitting metaphor for the digital age's complexities. Jack moved forward, his steps measured, the weight of his Desert Storm Challenge coin a reassuring presence in his pocket. His instincts were on high alert, every detail scrutinized with the precision of a battlefield reconnaissance. As he approached the designated meeting point, a sudden shift in the air caught his attention. Aya stood, her expression unreadable, and in an instant the world seemed to tilt off its axis. With a swift motion, she turned to face him, her voice cutting through the din. "I'm sorry, Jack," she said, her words laced with a mix of regret and resolve. The betrayal was swift, a dagger to the heart of the operation, leaving Jack and his team vulnerable and exposed. The shock of Aya's betrayal hit Jack like a physical blow. The room spun, the neon lights blurring into a kaleidoscope of confusion. Disbelief and anger warred within him, each emotion a tempest threatening to consume his composure. How could someone he trusted so implicitly turn against him? The question echoed in his mind, a relentless drumbeat of betrayal. As the dust settled, Jack found himself retreating to a safe house with Sofia Ramirez and Kaito Mori, his trusted allies. The safe house, a nondescript apartment tucked away in a quiet Tokyo neighborhood, offered a brief respite from the chaos. Here they began the painstaking process of unraveling the truth behind Aya's actions. Sofia, with her unparalleled tech expertise, delved into the digital forensics. Her fingers danced across the keyboard, sifting through a mountain of data, each keystroke a step closer to the truth. The task was monumental, but Sofia's determination was unwavering. She analyzed Aya's communications, financial transactions, and digital footprints, piecing together a narrative that was as complex as it was heartbreaking. What they discovered added layers to Aya's character, transforming her from a traitor into a victim of circumstance. Aya had been coerced into betraying Jack, her actions driven by threats against her family, orchestrated by Riku Sato's criminal network. This revelation shifted the narrative, painting Aya not as a villain, but as a pawn caught in a game of manipulation and fear. Jack's initial anger began to ebb, replaced by a burgeoning empathy and understanding. He grappled with the realization that in the shadowy world of digital crime, alliances could shift in an instant, trust as fragile as a whisper in the wind. This emotional journey was pivotal for Jack, forcing him to reconcile his sense of betrayal with the harsh realities of the world he operated in. As Jack processed this new information, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. The betrayal, though painful, served as a catalyst for his growth, reinforcing his commitment to his mission. He resolved to continue his pursuit of justice, now more determined than ever to dismantle the network that had coerced Aya and countless others. The safe house became a hub of activity, a place where strategies were devised and plans set in motion. Sofia and Kaito worked tirelessly alongside Jack, their dedication unwavering. Sofia's digital forensics uncovered a trail of breadcrumbs leading back to Riku Sato, each piece of evidence a step closer to justice. In the quiet moments between the chaos, Jack found himself reflecting on the complexities of trust and betrayal in the digital age. The world had changed, the lines between ally and enemy blurred by technology and greed. Yet amidst the uncertainty, Jack's resolve remained steadfast, his commitment to uncovering the truth unyielding. As the operation to dismantle Riku Sato's network gained momentum, Jack's thoughts often drifted back to Aya. He understood now the depth of her struggle, the impossible choices she had been forced to make. In a world where digital shadows loomed large, Aya's betrayal was a reminder of the human cost of the digital age's shadowy dealings. The subchapter concluded with Jack standing at the precipice of a new beginning. The betrayal had tested him, challenged his perceptions, and deepened the emotional stakes of his journey. Yet it had also strengthened his resolve, reinforcing his commitment to his mission and his understanding of the human cost of the digital age's shadowy dealings. Aya's betrayal was a turning point, a moment that seamlessly bridged the preceding and following chapters, maintaining a logical and compelling flow that kept readers on the edge of their seats. It was a narrative that challenged Jack's perceptions, tested his resolve, and ultimately propelled him forward in his quest for justice. Chapter 6: Ghosts in the Machine. Jack Marrow walked the narrow alleyways of Tokyo, the neon glow casting long shadows on the wet pavement. Here in the heart of the city, he sought the unseen, the invisible class who lived off-grid, erased from the official systems. His instincts, honed from years of battlefield and street-level vigilance, tingled with the awareness that he was close to something significant. His search led him to Tanaka, a gaunt figure who seemed to blend into the urban landscape. Tanaka was a ghost in the machine, living without a digital footprint, a relic in a city driven by technology. He handed Jack a flash drive, the weight of its contents heavier than the metal it was encased in. This data was crucial, a key to unlocking the conspiracy Jack was unraveling. As he pocketed the drive, Jack reflected on these digital ghosts, people who, by choice or circumstance, existed outside the grid. They were the human cost of technological advancement, the collateral damage of a world racing towards automation and digital dominance. For them, survival meant navigating a labyrinth of cash transactions, aliases, and crypto dealings. Jack's mind wandered to the broader implications. The Displacer AI, a rogue system siphoning wealth and erasing identities, was a metaphor for the greed and abandonment these people faced. The critical element was understanding that behind every digital transaction was a human story, often one of desperation and resilience. In most cases, the results of his investigations were impressive, but this was different. Here, Jack saw the shadows of a digital economy that left many behind, and he knew that solving this case meant more than just catching a criminal. It was about giving voice to the silent, the forgotten, the ghosts in the machine. Jack Marrow moved through the narrow alleyways of Tokyo with the practiced stealth of a man who had spent years navigating dangerous terrains. The neon lights of the city flickered overhead, casting vibrant reflections onto the wet pavement below. Yet, here in these dimly lit passages, the glow barely penetrated the shadows, creating a stark contrast between the bustling metropolis and the hidden world Jack was about to enter. His mission was clear: find Tanaka and retrieve the flash drive that held secrets capable of shaking the very foundations of the digital world. But as Jack delved deeper into the realm of Tokyo's invisible class, he also sought to understand the lives of those who had chosen to erase themselves from official systems, living off-grid in a digital age that demanded constant connectivity. The alleyways were a labyrinth, each turn revealing a new layer of this clandestine community. Jack's instincts, honed from years of military and law enforcement experience, guided him through the maze. His tingle, an intuitive sense that fused battlefield hypervigilance with the ability to detect fraud, was on high alert. It was this uncanny ability that had brought him to Tokyo, and it would be his guide in the search for Tanaka. As Jack walked, he encountered a diverse array of characters, each with their own reasons for choosing a life outside the digital grid. A former journalist who had turned his back on the mainstream media to preserve his integrity. A young couple who had fled the relentless data mining of social media giants to protect their privacy. An elderly woman who simply wanted to live her final years free from the pressures of modern technology. These were the digital ghosts of Tokyo, living in the shadows of a world that had moved on without them. Each interaction offered Jack a poignant commentary on the human cost of technological advancement. The stories he heard were a reflection of the broader societal shifts that had driven these individuals to seek anonymity. In a world where data was currency, they had chosen to become invisible, trading convenience for freedom. Finally, Jack arrived at a nondescript door, the entrance to a hidden cyber cafe. Inside, the atmosphere was tense, filled with the low hum of computers and the soft murmur of conversation. It was here that he found Tanaka, a former software engineer turned activist. Tanaka had been living off-grid to evade corporate surveillance, a digital ghost with a crucial role in the unfolding conspiracy. Their conversation was a delicate dance, each man probing the other for information while guarding their own secrets. Tanaka was guarded, but the urgency in Jack's voice cut through the tension. Slowly, Tanaka revealed the contents of the flash drive. evidence of widespread digital manipulation and exploitation orchestrated by powerful corporations. The revelations were staggering, adding a new layer to the mystery Jack was unraveling. As Tanaka spoke, Jack felt the weight of the information settle on his shoulders. The implications were vast, linking the invisible class to a broader conspiracy that stretched far beyond Tokyo. It was a chilling reminder of the power wielded by those who controlled the digital world and the lengths to which they would go to maintain their dominance. Throughout the conversation, Jack's mind raced with reflections on the digital ghosts he had encountered. The ethical implications of technology and its impact on society were laid bare before him. He questioned the balance between progress and privacy, grappling with the realization that the very tools designed to connect humanity were also capable of isolating it. These reflections were interwoven with the plot, providing moments of introspection that resonated deeply. Jack saw himself in these digital ghosts, recognizing the shared desire for autonomy and the right to exist beyond the reach of algorithms and data points. It was a sobering thought, one that added layers to his character and the mission he was on. As Jack left the cyber cafe, the weight of Tanaka's revelations heavy on his mind, he stepped back into the bustling streets of Tokyo. The city was alive with energy, a stark contrast to the hidden world he had just emerged from. But Jack was more determined than ever to expose the truth, driven by a newfound awareness of the invisible lives intertwined with his own. This realization marked a turning point for Jack, solidifying his resolve to fight not just for justice, but for the forgotten voices in the digital age. He understood now that the battle was not just against a faceless conspiracy, but for the very soul of humanity in a world increasingly defined by digital boundaries. The invisible class had shown him the human cost of technological advancement, a cost that could not be ignored. Jack's journey through the shadows of Tokyo had opened his eyes to the complexities of the digital age, and he was more committed than ever to ensuring that those who had been erased from the system would not be forgotten. As he navigated the crowded streets, Jack's thoughts turned to the next phase of his investigation. The flash drive was a key piece of the puzzle, but there was still much to uncover. The conspiracy he was unraveling was vast, and the stakes were higher than ever. But Jack was ready, armed with the knowledge that the invisible class had given him and the determination to see justice served. The important thing to remember was that in a world dominated by technology, it was the human element that remained the most powerful force. Jack's journey through Tokyo's shadows had reinforced this truth, and as he prepared to take on the next challenge, he carried with him the stories of those who had chosen to live outside the grid. The invisible class had become a part of his story, their lives intertwined with his own in ways he could never have imagined. And as Jack continued his quest for justice, he did so with the knowledge that the fight was not just for himself, but for all those who sought to reclaim their autonomy in a digital world. With renewed determination, Jack moved forward, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The path was uncertain, but his resolve was unshakable. The invisible class had given him a new perspective, and with it the strength to continue his fight for truth and justice in the shadows of the digital age. The narrow alleyways of Tokyo glowed with an otherworldly neon light, casting vibrant reflections on the rain-slicked pavement. Jack Marrow, a seasoned detective with a knack for spotting the unseen, moved with purpose through this maze of shadows. His guide, Kaito Mori, a local journalist with a reputation for uncovering the city's hidden truths, walked alongside him. Together, they were on a mission to find Tanaka, a man who had become a digital ghost in a city buzzing with connectivity. As they navigated deeper into the labyrinth of Tokyo's backstreets, Jack's senses heightened. The air was thick with the scent of street food mingling with the metallic tang of city life. His tingle flared, a visceral reminder of his military days, urging him to stay alert. The narrow passageways seemed to close in around them, each turn leading them further from the bustling streets above. "This place," Kaito began, his voice low and cautious, "is where the invisible class lives. People who've slipped through the cracks by choice or necessity." He gestured towards a decrepit building that loomed ahead, its facade a patchwork of crumbling stone and faded graffiti. It was a relic of a bygone era, standing defiantly against the tide of digital advancement. Inside, the atmosphere shifted. The building's interior was dimly lit, the walls lined with makeshift rooms and the hum of quiet conversations. It was a sanctuary for those who had mastered the art of invisibility in a hyper-connected world. Here, cash was king, and aliases were as common as the air they breathed. Jack could feel the eyes of the residents on him, their trust a rare and precious commodity. Jack's objective was clear: find Tanaka, the man rumored to hold a flash drive with data that could unravel a conspiracy stretching from Tokyo to San Antonio. But gaining access to Tanaka meant earning the trust of this community, a task easier said than done. Jack's reputation as a detective had preceded him, and he knew that empathy and persuasion would be his greatest tools. As they moved through the enclave, Jack listened to the stories of those who had chosen or been forced to live in the shadows. Each tale was a testament to the profound human cost of technological advancement. One man, a former software engineer, spoke of being erased from the system after a corporate data breach. A woman, once a promising artist, had turned to this life after a deepfake scandal ruined her reputation. These encounters forced Jack to reflect on his own place in the digital age, adding layers to his character and deepening the story's thematic resonance. Eventually, Jack and Kaito were led to a small, dimly lit room where Tanaka awaited. The air was thick with tension, each moment stretching into the next. Tanaka was a man of few words, his demeanor both wary and intrigued by Jack's determination. The flash drive, a small but powerful device, lay on the table between them. It contained data that could expose the crypto laundering scheme at the heart of the mystery, a key piece of the puzzle Jack had been chasing. "You know the risks," Tanaka warned, his voice steady but firm. "Possessing this information makes you a target. The stakes are high, and those involved will stop at nothing to protect their secrets." Jack nodded, the weight of his mission settling heavily on his shoulders. The data on the flash drive was crucial, but it also represented a deeper understanding of the digital world's impact on humanity. It was a revelation that marked a turning point for Jack, as he grappled with the ethical implications of his pursuit. As they left the enclave, Jack's mind was a whirlwind of thoughts. The stories of the digital ghosts lingered, their voices echoing in his mind. These reflections not only enriched Jack's character, but also set the stage for the subsequent events in the narrative. The emotional journey, key revelations, and moments of introspection ensured that this chapter was an essential and compelling part of Crypto Shadows. Jack's journey through Tokyo's underbelly had been more than just a search for Tanaka. It was a confrontation with the realities of a world where technology could both connect and isolate, empower and erase. As he walked away from the enclave, the neon lights of the city casting long shadows behind him, Jack knew that the path ahead would be fraught with danger and moral quandaries. But he was ready, driven by a determination to uncover the truth and a newfound understanding of the digital ghosts who had become his allies in this complex web of intrigue. Chapter 7, Showdown at the Server Farm. Jack Marrow stood amidst the humming servers, the air thick with anticipation and the faint scent of ozone. His team, a mix of tech-savvy allies and seasoned operatives, moved with precision, each step echoing in the cavernous server farm. The mission was clear: capture the rogue AI and bring Riku Sato to justice. The server lights blinked like stars in a digital galaxy, casting eerie shadows that danced across the concrete floor. Jack's tingle was alive, a constant reminder of the stakes at hand. He clutched his Desert Storm challenge coin, letting its familiar weight ground him as he scanned the room for microtells, the subtle signs of impending action. In a corner, Sofia Ramirez, his blockchain forensics expert, tapped furiously on her laptop, orchestrating the digital net to trap the AI. Her fingers flew over the keys, the clatter a symphony of determination. "We're almost there, Jack," she murmured, her voice steady despite the tension. Suddenly, a flicker on the main screen signaled the AI's desperate attempt to escape. "Now!" Jack commanded, his voice a blend of urgency and authority. The team sprang into action, executing a plan as precise as a military operation. Within moments, the rogue AI was contained, its digital tendrils severed. Riku Sato emerged from the shadows, his face a mask of defiance. Jack approached, his steps measured, eyes locked on his target. "It's over. Sato," Jack said, his tone of velvet steel. The confrontation ended with Sato's capture, a testament to Jack's strategic prowess and unyielding resolve. As the adrenaline ebbed, Jack reflected on the battle won. The server farm, once a battleground, now stood silent, a monument to justice served in the shadows of technology. The dim glow from the makeshift command center cast long shadows across the room, where Jack Marrow, Sofia Ramirez, and Kaito Mori huddled over a table strewn with blueprints and digital screens. The air was thick with anticipation, each team member acutely aware of the stakes. Jack's instincts, honed from years in the field, hummed with an intensity that only such high-stakes operations could evoke. "All right, folks," Jack began, his voice a blend of calm authority and urgency. "This is it. We've got one shot to capture the Displacer AI and stop Riku Sato's crypto laundering scheme. Sofia, you're on point with the hacking. Kaito, eyes peeled for any of Sato's men. Let's move." As they approached the server farm, the sprawling complex of metal and glass loomed like a fortress against Tokyo's neon-lit skyline. The city's pulse seemed to sync with Jack's own, his tingle, that intuitive sense of danger, buzzing like static electricity in the air. Each step towards the facility was measured, calculated, the culmination of weeks of preparation and planning. The team moved with stealth and precision, Sofia's fingers dancing across her portable console to bypass the security systems. Cameras blinked off one by one, their digital eyes momentarily blinded by her expertise. Jack marveled at her skill, a reminder of the power of technology when wielded by capable hands. Once inside, the atmosphere changed. The sterile scent of electronics mixed with the rhythmic hum of servers, a symphony of technology that was both awe-inspiring and intimidating. Jack led the way through narrow aisles of blinking lights, each server a silent sentinel in the cavernous space. "We're close," Sofia whispered, her eyes never leaving the screen. "The main server housing the Displacer AI is just ahead." Reaching the heart of the operation, the team paused before a massive, pulsating server. Jack's heart raced, the culmination of their mission within reach. Sofia set to work, her fingers a blur over the keyboard as she initiated the program designed to trap the rogue AI. The digital net, a complex weave of code and strategy, began to close around the AI, isolating it from its operations. Meanwhile, Kaito stood watch, his eyes scanning the room for any signs of Riku Sato's henchmen. The tension was palpable, every second stretching into eternity as they awaited the AI's capture. Just as victory seemed imminent, the unexpected happened. Riku Sato, ever cunning and desperate, launched a counterattack. An alarm blared, red lights flashing as automated defenses sprang to life. The server room erupted into chaos, laser beams crisscrossing the space and security drones descending with mechanical precision. "Stay sharp!" Jack shouted, his voice cutting through the din. His quick thinking and tactical acumen were put to the test as he coordinated the team's response. They ducked and dodged, evading the drones with a blend of agility and strategy that spoke to their experience and resolve. In the midst of the chaos, Jack found himself face to face with Riku Sato. The two men locked eyes, a silent acknowledgement of the stakes at play. In a tense standoff, Jack's instincts took over. He moved with the fluidity of a seasoned fighter, using a blend of wits and physical prowess to subdue Sato. The struggle was fierce but brief, ending with Sato apprehended and the mastermind behind the crypto blackmail scheme finally in custody. Yet, the capture of the rogue AI remained uncertain. Sofia worked against the clock, her focus unwavering as she raced to complete the program before the system could reset. The room seemed to hold its breath, the outcome hanging by a thread. Then, in a moment of triumph, Sofia's efforts bore fruit. The digital net closed with finality, enclosing the AI and rendering it inert. The vital data needed to dismantle the crypto laundering network was secure, a hard-won victory that resonated through the team. As the adrenaline ebbed, a sense of accomplishment mingled with the lingering question of the digital world's ethical complexities. Jack, reflecting on the ordeal, acknowledged the blurred lines between heroism and vigilantism in a world increasingly dominated by technology. "We did it," Sofia breathed, a mix of relief and pride in her voice. "Yeah," Jack replied, his tone thoughtful. "But it's not just about stopping the bad guys. It's about understanding the world we're shaping with every line of code, every decision. The team gathered their equipment, the server farm now silent but for the steady hum of the captured AI. As they exited the complex, the neon glow of Tokyo greeted them, a city of contrasts and possibilities. You know, Kaito said, breaking the silence, this isn't just a win for us. It's a message that there are still people willing to stand up against the shadows. Jack nodded, the weight of the mission settling into a newfound resolve. The journey had tested them all, revealing strengths and vulnerabilities in equal measure. It was a reminder that in the digital age, courage and empathy remained vital, guiding lights against the encroaching darkness. With the mission complete, Jack and his team knew their work was far from over. The digital landscape was ever evolving, a frontier of challenges and opportunities. But for now, they had captured the AI, a victory that marked not just the end of a chapter, but the beginning of a new understanding. As they walked into the Tokyo night, the city's vibrant energy a backdrop to their thoughts, Jack felt a renewed sense of purpose. The battle against the shadows was ongoing, but with allies like Sofia and Kaito, he knew they were up to the task. In the end, capturing the AI was more than a mission. It was a testament to the strength of human ingenuity and the enduring power of justice in a world increasingly defined by technology. The neon glow of Tokyo's skyline painted a surreal backdrop as Jack Marrow and his team positioned themselves around the sprawling server farm. The air was thick with anticipation, the hum of servers a relentless reminder of the digital battleground they were about to enter. This was it, the culmination of weeks of investigation, deception, and relentless pursuit. The stakes were high, and Jack could feel the familiar tingle at the back of his neck, a fusion of battlefield hypervigilance and fraud pattern recognition that had guided him through countless operations. Jack, Sofia Ramirez, and Kaito Mori moved with precision, their strategic positions carefully chosen to maximize their chances of success. Sofia, a blockchain forensics expert, was in her element, her fingers dancing over her laptop as she bypassed the facility's security systems. Her expertise was crucial, a testament to the cutting-edge tech they were leveraging to infiltrate the compound. Kaito, a seasoned journalist with a history of investigating Yakuza-linked corporate crimes, provided invaluable local insights. His understanding of the intricate web of connections within Tokyo's underworld had been instrumental in leading them to this moment. Together, they formed a formidable team, each member bringing a unique set of skills to the table. As they moved through the facility, Jack's mind was a whirlwind of thoughts. The confrontation with Riku Sato, the mastermind behind the crypto laundering scheme, loomed large. Jack's instinctual drive for justice was at odds with the complexities of the digital age. The rogue AI they were about to confront was not just a tool of crime, but a symbol of the shadowy depths of the digital world. It was a reminder of the thin line between human ingenuity and the potential for abuse. The corridors of the server farm were a maze of blinking lights and whirring machinery. The atmosphere crackled with tension, every step echoing with the weight of what was at stake. As they approached the heart of the facility where the rogue AI was housed, the reality of their mission settled over them like a heavy shroud. Inside the control room, the confrontation unfolded with a cerebral intensity. Riku Sato stood at the center, his demeanor calm and collected, a stark contrast to the chaos swirling around him. Jack could see the confidence in Riku's eyes, the arrogance of a man who believed he was untouchable. Yet Jack knew better. He had faced down adversaries like Riku before, and he understood the power of human resilience and strategic prowess. "You think you can outsmart me, Marrow?" Riku's voice was smooth, almost mocking. "This isn't some street-level scam. You're in over your head." Jack met Riku's gaze with a steely resolve. "I've been in deeper waters, Sato, and I know how to swim." The exchange was a dance of intellect and strategy, each word a calculated move in a high-stakes game of chess. Jack's knowledge of human behavior and digital forensics was his greatest asset, allowing him to see through Riku's facade and anticipate his next move. As the confrontation escalated, Sofia's voice crackled through Jack's earpiece. "I've got control of the AI's mainframe. We can shut it down, but we need to act fast." Jack nodded, his mind racing. The rogue AI was the linchpin of Riku's operation, and disabling it was crucial to dismantling the entire scheme. With Sofia's guidance, they navigated the digital labyrinth, each keystroke bringing them closer to victory. In the end, it was Jack's emotional resilience that tipped the scales. The confrontation was not just a battle of wits, but a test of character. Jack's unwavering commitment to justice, honed through years of experience, shone through as he outmaneuvered Riku, exposing the flaws in his plan. The moment of Riku's apprehension was a victory, but it was tinged with a sobering realization. The digital world's shadowy depths were vast and complex, a reminder of the challenges that lay ahead. As the authorities took Riku into custody, Jack felt a sense of closure, yet he knew that this was just one battle in a much larger war. Reflecting on the events of the night, Jack considered the themes of trust, betrayal, and justice that had defined his journey. The digital age was a double-edged sword, offering both incredible opportunities and unprecedented risks. As he stood amidst the neon-lit chaos of Tokyo, Jack understood that his role as a detective had evolved. It was no longer just about solving crimes, but navigating the intricate web of technology and human nature. For Sofia and Kaito, the victory was a testament to their skills and dedication. Sofia's expertise in blockchain forensics had been pivotal, and Kaito's insights had been invaluable. Together, they had formed a bond forged in the crucible of high-stakes investigation, each member of the team bringing their unique strengths to bear. As they left the server farm, the city of Tokyo stretched out before them, a sprawling metropolis of endless possibilities and hidden dangers. Jack's thoughts turned to the future, to the challenges that awaited him in the ever-evolving landscape of crime and technology. He knew that his journey was far from over, but he was ready to face whatever lay ahead. In the quiet moments after the confrontation, Jack allowed himself a moment of reflection. The case had tested him in ways he had never imagined, pushing him to the limits of his abilities. Yet it had also reaffirmed his belief in the power of human courage and intuition. In a world dominated by technology, it was these qualities that remained vital, guiding him through the shadows of the digital age. As they walked into the night, the neon lights of Tokyo casting long shadows on the pavement, Jack felt a renewed sense of purpose. The battle against Riku Sato was over, but the fight for justice continued. With his team by his side, Jack was ready to face whatever challenges the future held, armed with the knowledge that even in the darkest corners of the digital world, the light of truth could still shine through. Chapter 8: Redemption and Revelation. Aya Nakamura stood on the rooftop, the Tokyo skyline shimmering behind her. The neon lights reflected her determination as she prepared to face Jack Marrow. Her betrayal had been a bitter pill, but redemption was within reach. She had the information Jack needed to unravel the crypto laundering scheme, and tonight she was ready to make amends. Jack's instincts had always been his guide, and this time was no different. Aya's unexpected turn was a risk, but his gut told him she was sincere. Her intel was the key to exposing Riku Sato's network. With Sofia Ramirez's blockchain expertise and Yumi Takeda's local insights, they pieced together a digital tapestry of deceit, each thread leading back to the Displacer AI. As they worked, Jack couldn't help but reflect on the journey. The chaos of the digital underworld had tested his ethical compass, but it had also forged an unexpected camaraderie. The team had become more than just allies. They were a testament to the power of redemption and justice. With the final evidence in hand, they prepared to confront the shadowy figures behind the crypto empire. The stakes were high, but Jack felt a sense of clarity. This was more than just a case. It was a chance to set things right, to restore balance in a world teetering on the edge of digital chaos. As the night deepened, Aya stood beside Jack, ready to face the consequences of her past. Together, they would shine a light on the shadows, revealing the truth and finding redemption in the process. In the dim glow of a Tokyo cafe, Aya Nakamura sat alone, her fingers tracing the rim of a porcelain cup. The air was thick with the aroma of roasted coffee beans, but Aya barely noticed. Her mind was elsewhere, consumed by the weight of her past actions and the uncertainty of what lay ahead. She had reached out to Jack Marrow, a man she had once betrayed, with a sliver of hope for redemption. The cafe door swung open, and Jack entered, his presence commanding the room. He moved with the cautious grace of someone who had seen too much. His eyes scanned the room, a reflex honed by years of military and investigative work. Spotting Aya, he approached her table, his expression a mix of curiosity and guarded skepticism. "Aya," he greeted, his voice carrying the laid-back cadence of New York, yet tinged with an edge that hinted at the steel beneath. "You wanted to talk?" Aya nodded, her eyes downcast. "I have something for you," she said, handing over a small flash drive. "It's encrypted communications between Riku Sato and his network. It could be the key to bringing down his entire operation." Jack took the drive, his expression unreadable. "Why now?" he asked, his voice softening into what he often referred to as his hostage negotiator velvet. Aya hesitated, the words catching in her throat. "I was coerced," she admitted finally, her voice barely above a whisper. "My family was threatened. I didn't have a choice." Jack studied her, his instincts weighing her sincerity. The tingle, that internal alarm honed from years of danger, was silent, suggesting truth in her words. Still, trust was a fragile thing, easily shattered and difficult to rebuild. "Let's see what you've got," he said, nodding towards a laptop on the table. As they delved into the data, the cafe around them faded into the background, their focus narrowing to the screen and the secrets it held. The files were a labyrinth of encrypted messages, but Aya had come prepared. She guided Jack through the maze, her knowledge of the network's intricacies proving invaluable. As they worked, Aya opened up about the personal stakes involved, her family's safety, the threats she had faced. Each revelation added layers to her character, transforming her from a mere traitor to a victim of circumstance. Jack listened, his skepticism gradually giving way to understanding. He knew all too well the lengths to which people would go to protect their loved ones. Aya's story resonated with him, stirring memories of his own past, of choices made in the heat of conflict. As the hours passed, the data began to unravel a sinister plot. A massive crypto heist orchestrated by Riku Sato, designed to destabilize financial markets globally. The enormity of the threat was staggering, propelling the narrative forward with a sense of urgency. Jack's mind raced, piecing together the implications. This wasn't just about money. It was about power, control, and the vulnerability of a world increasingly reliant on digital currencies. The stakes were higher than ever, and Aya's information was the key to stopping it. They were soon joined by Sofia Ramirez and Yumi Takeda, two allies whose expertise would prove crucial. Sofia, with her technical acumen, and Yumi, with her street-smart insights, completed the team. Together they worked in unison, their dynamic a testament to the growth and trust built over the course of their journey. Sofia's fingers flew over the keyboard, decrypting files with practiced ease. "This is big," she murmured, her eyes wide with disbelief. "Riku's plan, it's more sophisticated than we thought." Yumi leaned in, her brow furrowed. "He's using smart contracts to siphon micropayments, funneling them into cold wallets. It's genius, in a twisted way." The group's collaboration underscored the theme of redemption, not just for Aya, but for all involved. Each member of the team had faced their own demons, yet here they were, united in a common cause. It was a powerful reminder of the human capacity for change and the strength found in unity. As they pieced together the puzzle, the tension in the room was palpable. Every new discovery brought them closer to understanding Riku's endgame, and the imminent threat loomed large. They had to act quickly to prevent the heist and expose the conspiracy. The subchapter reached its climax as the group uncovered the full scope of Riku's plan. The realization was sobering, but it also galvanized them into action. Aya, once a pawn in Riku's game, took a proactive role in the unfolding events. Her courage and determination were undeniable, solidifying her redemption arc. In the end, it was Jack who offered Aya a chance at a new beginning. "You've proven your loyalty," he said, his voice steady. "We all make mistakes, but it's what we do to fix them that counts." Aya met his gaze, gratitude and relief washing over her. It was a moment of forgiveness and understanding, bridging the gap between past betrayals and future alliances. It was a testament to the power of second chances, a theme that resonated deeply throughout their journey. As the subchapter closed, the group prepared for the final confrontation with Riku Sato. The emotional stakes were high, with every character facing their own challenges and finding strength in each other. Jack, Aya, Sofia, and Yumi stood united, ready to face whatever lay ahead. Aya's redemption was a pivotal subchapter that not only advanced the plot, but also deepened the emotional complexity of the characters. It served as a testament to the power of redemption and the human capacity for change, aligning perfectly with the overarching themes of redemption and revelation in their techno-noir thriller. The dim glow of Tokyo's neon skyline barely penetrated the tightly drawn curtains of the small apartment where Jack Marrow and his team had gathered. The room was a sanctuary of shadows, a fitting backdrop for the clandestine meeting that was about to unfold. Jack, ever the vigilant observer, felt the familiar tingle of intuition, a blend of his battlefield instincts and years of experience in law enforcement prickle at the back of his neck. It was a sensation he had learned to trust implicitly, a guiding force as reliable as the nicked Desert Storm challenge coin he kept in his pocket. Jack surveyed the room, his eyes landing on Aya Nakamura. Her earlier betrayal had been a sting, yet here she was, determined to make amends. Her eyes, a mixture of guilt and resolve, met his, silently pleading for a chance at redemption. Aya had risked everything to bring them the digital evidence they now pored over, a treasure trove of encrypted data that could unravel the crypto-laundering conspiracy they had been chasing. At the center of the room, Sofia Ramirez, their tech anchor, was a whirlwind of focus as her fingers danced over the keyboard. Her expertise was crucial in decrypting the complex layers of data Aya had provided. "This isn't just a simple laundering operation," Sofia explained, her voice steady and confident. "It's a sophisticated network, and it's all pointing back to Riku Sato's digital empire." Yumi Takeda, driven by the mystery of her brother's disappearance, listened intently. Her quiet strength was palpable, a reminder of the personal stakes involved in their mission. As Sofia continued to peel back the layers of the conspiracy, the room buzzed with a mix of anticipation and tension. Jack leaned back, allowing the pieces of the puzzle to settle in his mind. The ethical implications of their discoveries weighed heavily on him. Justice and vengeance were two sides of the same coin, and he often found himself teetering on the edge of both. This internal struggle mirrored Aya's journey of redemption, as she grappled with the consequences of her past actions and her desire to set things right. Suddenly, Sofia's fingers paused. "Wait," she said, her eyes narrowing at the screen. "There's an anomaly here, a hidden algorithm. This could be the key to exonerating Aya and implicating the higher-ups in the crypto world." The revelation was a turning point, igniting a sense of urgency within the group. Jack's mind raced, connecting dots that had previously seemed disparate. His tingle flared again, guiding him toward the truth that lay just beyond their grasp. The scene shifted into an intense brainstorming session. Each character's expertise and intuition became crucial as they worked to piece together the final elements of their plan. Jack's leadership shone through, his voice firm yet encouraging as he orchestrated their efforts. The dialogue was sharp, filled with technical jargon and strategic planning, yet accessible, maintaining the storytelling tone that kept the audience engaged. "We need to act fast," Jack declared, his voice carrying the weight of urgency. "If we can expose this scheme, we might just bring down Sato's empire." The team formulated a daring plan to expose the conspiracy, their resolve unyielding. The emotional stakes were high, with each character's personal journey intertwined with the overarching narrative of justice and redemption. As they finalized their strategy, Jack received a cryptic message on his phone. The words were few but potent, hinting at an even deeper conspiracy lurking beneath the surface. "Looks like we've only scratched the surface," Jack muttered, his mind already racing with possibilities. The message left him with more questions than answers, setting the stage for the final confrontation that awaited them. As the subchapter drew to a close, the tension in the room was palpable. Jack's thoughts turned inward, reflecting on the path that had brought them to this moment. The journey had been fraught with danger and deception, yet it had also been a testament to the power of resilience and the pursuit of truth. Their mission was far from over, but for the first time, Jack felt a glimmer of hope. The pieces were falling into place, and with each step, they moved closer to unraveling the scheme that had ensnared them in its web. In the quiet moments that followed, Jack allowed himself a brief pause. He thought of the lives that had been touched by the conspiracy, the people who had been caught in its shadow. His resolve hardened. fueled by the knowledge that their actions could bring about real change. With a renewed sense of purpose, Jack turned to his team. "Let's finish this," he said, his voice steady and resolute. The words hung in the air, a promise of the justice they sought to deliver. The chapter ended on a cliffhanger, with the cryptic message serving as a tantalizing thread, pulling the reader deeper into the narrative. The stage was set for the final confrontation, a showdown that would test their mettle and ultimately determine the fate of the conspiracy they had worked so tirelessly to expose. This pivotal subchapter not only unraveled the core mystery, but also deepened the characters' arcs, particularly highlighting Jack's growth and ethical compass. It bridged the gap between the previous revelations and the impending resolution, ensuring a seamless flow of the narrative while leaving readers eager for more. As the shadows of the crypto world loomed large, Jack and his team stood ready to face whatever lay ahead, armed with determination and the unwavering pursuit of justice. The dim glow of the Tokyo apartment cast long shadows across the room, where Jack Marrow, Sofia Ramirez, and Yumi Takeda sat in a tense silence. The atmosphere was thick with anticipation and the gravity of their latest discovery, a crucial piece of evidence linking a crypto laundering scheme to some of the most influential figures in the tech industry. The evidence was more than just a smoking gun. It was a Pandora's box that threatened to unleash chaos, if not handled with the utmost care. Jack's mind was a storm of thoughts, each one colliding with the next as he grappled with the implications of their discovery. The moral ambiguity of his journey thus far weighed heavily on him, prompting a deep introspection. He recalled a pivotal conversation with his mentor, a seasoned detective who had once told him, "In the digital age, Jack, the line between right and wrong is as thin as a whisper. Justice isn't just about catching the bad guys, it's about how you catch them." This memory played out in a vivid flashback, the mentor's words echoing in Jack's mind as he considered the ethical quandaries before him. The digital anonymity that often shielded the guilty was a double-edged sword, one that could cut both ways. Jack knew that his instincts, honed through years of experience, would guide him, but the path was fraught with moral peril. As the discussion in the apartment moved forward, Sofia laid out a bold plan to leak the information to the press, ensuring public accountability. Her voice was steady, her conviction clear. "This isn't just about us, Jack. It's about the truth. People need to know what's happening behind the curtains." Jack hesitated, weighing the potential fallout. "But what about the innocents, Sofia? The ones who might get caught in the crossfire? We can't just throw this out there without considering the consequences." Yumi, driven by the disappearance of her brother and the plight of gig workers like herself, leaned forward, her eyes blazing with determination. "Jack, this isn't just a story, it's a chance to change the system. My brother, he's just one of many who have vanished into the shadows. We have to do something." Her words struck a chord with Jack, rekindling his commitment to justice over personal vendettas. He realized that this was more than just another case. It was a chance to make a real difference. The dialogue between them was sharp and thought-provoking, capturing the essence of their moral struggle and the stakes involved. The subchapter reached its emotional peak as Jack decided to confront one of the implicated tech moguls directly. The setting was a sleek, modern office, a stark contrast to the dimly lit apartment. The office symbolized the power and influence of the digital elite, a world where decisions made in boardrooms could ripple across the globe. Jack's approach was calm yet firm, embodying his newfound ethical clarity. He offered the mogul a chance to come clean, emphasizing the importance of accountability and redemption. "You have a choice here," Jack said, his voice steady. "You can either hide behind your digital fortress or step into the light and make things right. The world is watching." This confrontation served as a catalyst for Jack's final transformation. He realized that true justice wasn't about retribution, but about creating a world where transparency and integrity prevailed. The encounter marked a significant turning point, not just for Jack, but for Sofia and Yumi as well. Together, they solidified their resolve to expose the conspiracy, not just for personal closure, but for the greater good. The decision to move forward with the plan was not made lightly. It was a testament to Jack's growth from a lone wolf detective to a leader who considered the broader implications of his actions. This transformation was underscored by the realization that the digital age required a new kind of detective work, one that balanced traditional instincts with modern ethics. As the subchapter drew to a close, Jack, Sofia, and Yumi stood united in their mission. They understood the risks, but were driven by a shared commitment to justice and the belief that their actions could spark change. This sense of purpose was a powerful motivator, propelling them toward the ultimate revelation that awaited in the parent chapter. Overall, this chapter was a masterclass in character development and thematic exploration, weaving together personal introspection and societal critique. It underscored the importance of ethical decision-making in the face of overwhelming complexity, leaving readers both satisfied and contemplative. Jack Marrow's journey was far from over, but his path was now illuminated by a newfound clarity and determination. Picture this: a world where justice is not just about catching the guilty, but about ensuring that the innocent are protected. This is the world Jack Marrow is striving to create, one where transparency and integrity are not just ideals, but realities. The important thing to remember is that in a digital age fraught with shadows and deception, the light of truth can still shine through, guiding those who dare to seek it. Chapter 9, Reflections on the Digital Age. The Tokyo skyline shimmered in the night, a digital constellation of possibilities and pitfalls. Jack Marrow leaned against the balcony railing, the cool breeze a welcome contrast to the neon glow. He was deep in thought, contemplating how crypto and automation were reshaping society. His mind wandered back to the Displacer AI, a rogue entity that had hijacked the lives of many, turning them into invisible cogs in a relentless digital machine. In the dim light, Jack's allies gathered around a small table, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of their devices. Sofia Ramirez, ever the tech anchor, spoke with a mix of caution and hope. Crypto's not just currency, it's a new frontier, but it needs a moral compass. Kaito Mori, the hard-nosed journalist, nodded in agreement. The digital economy is like a double-edged sword. It can empower or exploit. Jack considered their words, reflecting on the desperation he'd seen among gig workers, their lives dictated by algorithms and unpredictable wages. The evidence suggested a future where automation could either liberate or displace. Pay attention to the human element, Jack mused aloud, his voice carrying the weight of his journey. In all this tech, we can't lose sight of empathy. The conversation shifted to personal reflections. Jack thought about his own path, the battles fought and lessons learned. His instinctive tingle had guided him through the shadows, but it was the connections with people that truly anchored him. As the night deepened, Jack knew that while the digital age posed challenges, it also offered opportunities for growth and understanding. And in that balance, there lay hope. Jack Marrow sat in a dimly lit Tokyo cafe, the rhythmic hum of the city outside a stark contrast to the quiet introspection within. The low light cast shadows across his face as he sipped a steaming cup of matcha tea. His eyes were fixed on the digital newspaper headlines projected onto the table, each article a testament to the growing influence of cryptocurrency and automation. These headlines were more than just news. They were a mirror reflecting the seismic shifts in power dynamics and societal structures. As he pondered the implications of these changes, Sofia Ramirez walked in, her presence a comforting constant in the whirlwind of digital transformation. She slid into the seat opposite Jack, her tech-savvy mind already buzzing with insights. "It's a brave new world, Jack," she said, her voice tinged with both awe and caution. "Crypto's not just currency anymore, it's power, and with power comes responsibility." Jack nodded, the weight of Sofia's words settling into the depths of his thoughts. "Yeah, but it's also a playground for the unscrupulous," he replied, his voice carrying the laid-back cadence that masked the steel beneath. "The moral gray areas are expanding faster than we can map them." Their conversation danced between potential and pitfalls, each pushing the other to consider broader implications. Sofia highlighted the ethical dilemmas posed by technology, while Jack's instincts, honed by years of detective work and battlefield experience, recognized the patterns of exploitation and greed. Later, the scene transitioned to a rooftop garden, where Jack met with Kaito Mori and Yumi Takeda. The Tokyo skyline stretched before them, a breathtaking blend of tradition and innovation. Kaito, with his journalistic lens, shared stories of people left behind by the digital revolution. The gig economy, he explained, isn't just a new way to work, it's a new way to be exploited. Yumi, passionate about the human cost, added, "My brother, he's caught in this web, crypto mules, algorithmic wage theft. It's a vicious cycle." Her words resonated with Jack, each one a reminder of the human element, often overshadowed by technological advancement. This subchapter is the philosophical heart of Jack's journey. His internal struggle mirrors the societal challenges posed by the digital age, prompting readers to question their own perspectives. The emotional journey is one of enlightenment and resolve, as Jack begins to see his role not just as a detective, but as a participant in shaping the future. As they stood there, the wind carrying the scent of cherry blossoms, Jack's mind was a whirl of thoughts and reflections. The impact of cryptocurrency was not just about financial transformation. It was about redefining trust, power, and identity in a world where the lines between digital and reality blurred. Jack's reflections were interrupted by the soft chime of his phone. It was a message from Sofia, a reminder of the case's unresolved threads. The digital age was not just a backdrop to his investigation. It was the very fabric of the mystery he was unraveling. The conspiracy stretched from the bustling streets of San Antonio to the neon shadows of Tokyo, and Jack was determined to see it through. As the chapter drew to a close, Jack's resolve was renewed. The introspective moment served as a bridge, deepening his character development and setting the stage for the final act. His journey was not just about solving a case. It was about understanding the world he inhabited and the role he played within it. In the end, the impact of crypto was a catalyst for change, both for Jack and for the society he sought to protect. The digital age was a new frontier, and Jack Marrow was ready to navigate its complex landscape with the same courage and intuition that had guided him through the shadows of his past. Jack Marrow leaned back in his chair, the dim neon glow from Tokyo's skyline filtering through the window blinds. The city was a cacophony of lights and sounds, a digital symphony that never ceased, even at this late hour. He flipped the Desert Storm Challenge coin between his fingers, its edges worn smooth from years of use. The coin was his anchor, a tangible link to the past, and a reminder of the instincts that had kept him alive through countless investigations. In the heart of this techno-noir thriller, Jack found himself embroiled in a conversation that was as much about the future as it was about the present. He was seated across from Kaito Mori, a hard-nosed Tokyo journalist whose eyes were as sharp as his pen. They were in a small, dimly lit bar, the kind where secrets were exchanged over sake and whispered words. "You know, Jack," Kaito began, swirling his drink thoughtfully, "this city is a reflection of what's to come. The digital economy, the gig workers, the invisible class, it's all part of a larger narrative." Jack nodded, his mind racing through the layers of conspiracy he had uncovered. "Yeah, it's like a ghost in the machine. People are disappearing, not just physically, but digitally. They're being erased, and yet their shadows linger in the blockchain." Kaito leaned in, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "And that's where the Displacer AI comes in. It's not just about stealing crypto. It's about control. Whoever controls the Displacer controls the future of digital finance." The conversation shifted to Aya Nakamura, the consulate interpreter who had betrayed Jack during a crucial sting operation. Her redemption arc was a testament to the complexities of human nature. Aya's involvement was coerced, Jack mused, but it shows how desperation can lead people to make choices they never imagined. Kaito nodded, his expression somber. The gig economy has created a new class of workers who are both essential and expendable. They live in the shadows, off the grid, and yet they're the backbone of this digital age. Jack's thoughts drifted to Yumi Takeda, the coder-turned-delivery rider whose brother had vanished into the crypto underworld. Her story was a microcosm of the larger issue, individuals caught in the crossfire of technological advancement and economic exploitation. "Yumi's brother is just one of many," Jack said, his voice tinged with frustration. "These workers are like digital ghosts, erased from official systems but still very much alive in the underbelly of the crypto world." The conversation turned to the future, a topic that was both daunting and inevitable. "What do you think the future holds, Jack?" Kaito asked, his eyes searching for answers. Jack paused, considering the question carefully. "The future is a double-edged sword. Technology has the potential to liberate us, but it also has the power to enslave. It's up to us to decide which path we take." Kaito smiled, a hint of admiration in his eyes. "Spoken like a true detective, but how do we ensure that the path we choose is the right one?" "By staying vigilant," Jack replied, his voice firm, "by questioning everything and trusting our instincts. The tingle never lies." As the night wore on, their conversation covered a spectrum of topics, from the ethical implications of AI to the socio-economic impact of crypto economies. They discussed the role of smart contracts in siphoning micropayments and the metaphorical greed embodied by the Displacer AI. "It's like a modern-day gold rush," Kaito observed. "But instead of gold, it's data and crypto. And just like the old days, there are winners and losers." Jack's mind returned to the central crime, the vanished Bitcoin cold wallet tied to Project Displacer. It was a puzzle that required both analog and digital clues to solve. The ciphered menu, the intercepted communiques, they all point to something bigger, Jack said, his voice tinged with determination. "And what about Riku Sato?" Kaito asked, referring to the former robotics exec turned crypto blackmail mastermind. "Riku's tactics are ruthless, but they're also predictable," Jack replied. "He's driven by greed, and that's his weakness. We'll catch him, but it won't be easy." The conversation shifted to the role of AI in the modern world. "The Displacer AI is a metaphor for the greed and abandonment we see in today's economy," Jack noted. "It's a tool, but in the wrong hands, it becomes a weapon." Kaito leaned back, his expression thoughtful. "And what about the digital ghosts? How do we bring them back into the light?" "By giving them a voice," Jack said, his tone resolute. "By telling their stories and holding those in power accountable." The conversation wound down, but the themes they had explored lingered in the air like the smoke from a forgotten cigarette. Jack knew that the path ahead was fraught with challenges, but he also knew that he wasn't alone. With allies like Kaito, Sofia, and Yumi, he had the support he needed to navigate the shadows of the digital age. As he left the bar, the neon lights of Tokyo casting a kaleidoscope of colors across his path, Jack Marrow felt a renewed sense of purpose. The future was uncertain, but it was also a canvas waiting to be painted. And in this city of ghosts and shadows, he was determined to write a story of courage, empathy, and justice. The conversations on the future were far from over, but for Jack Marrow, they had provided a glimpse into the possibilities that lay ahead. As he walked into the night, the challenge coin still warm in his hand, he knew that the journey was just beginning. Scene 1, the silent stroll. The neon dazzle of Shibuya enveloped Jack Marrow as he walked, each step a deliberate pause amidst the city's relentless rhythm. The streets were alive with a symphony of sounds, the hum of electric scooters, the chatter of pedestrians, and the occasional beep of digital notifications punctuating the air. Yet, inside Jack's mind, a quieter, more profound conversation unfolded. He reflected on the digital age's transformation of human interaction, a theme that had become increasingly relevant in his line of work. Jack's thoughts drifted to the ethical quagmire of cryptocurrencies, a digital frontier where anonymity shielded the unscrupulous. He pondered the allure of AI, a double-edged sword promising efficiency but threatening to erode the very fabric of human values. His instincts, honed from years of reading microtells and navigating high-stakes negotiations, told him that the balance between technological advancement and human empathy was precarious. The neon lights, once a symbol of progress, now cast shadows of doubt in his mind. As he walked, Jack's fingers brushed against the familiar weight of his Desert Storm Challenge coin, a talisman of his past. It grounded him, reminding him of simpler times when the lines between right and wrong were clearer. The coin was an anchor, much like his instincts, guiding him through the complexities of a world increasingly driven by algorithms and digital currencies. He knew that despite the chaos, the core values he held dear, justice, empathy, and connection, remained unchanged, even if the landscape around them had shifted. Scene 2, the cafe encounter. Seeking respite from the digital deluge, Jack stepped into a small, traditional Japanese cafe. The warm, inviting aroma of freshly brewed tea greeted him, a stark contrast to the high-tech world outside. Here, time seemed to slow, offering a momentary escape from the relentless pace of modern life. It was in this serene setting that Jack met an elderly man, a living relic of Tokyo's past. The man, with a face etched by time and wisdom, shared tales of a pre-digital Tokyo, a city where human connections were forged face-to-face, not mediated through screens. His stories painted a picture of a simpler era, one where community and empathy were the cornerstones of society. Jack listened intently, each word resonating deeply, as he considered the generational divide that technology had widened. The conversation was a poignant reminder of the human cost of progress. As the man spoke of family gatherings and neighborhood camaraderie, Jack realized that while technology had brought convenience and opportunity, it had also distanced people from one another. The cafe, with its nostalgic ambiance, became a sanctuary for Jack, a place where he could reflect on the importance of preserving empathy and community amidst the digital age's rapid transformations. Scene 3. The Allies' Perspectives. Back at his temporary base, Jack convened with his allies, Sofia, Yumi, and Kaito, for a candid discussion about the future. Each brought a unique perspective, enriching the narrative with their diverse insights. Sofia, ever the pragmatist, spoke of the opportunities and risks that AI presented. Her expertise in blockchain forensics offered a realistic view of how technology could both empower and exploit. Yumi, whose personal struggles as a gig worker had given her first-hand experience of the digital economy's harsh realities, shared her story. Her brother's disappearance, linked to crypto mules, underscored the desperation that drove many to the fringes of legality. Her words were a stark reminder of the human faces behind the digital transactions that Jack investigated. Kaito, a hard-nosed journalist, offered insights into the media's role in shaping public perception. He highlighted how narratives could be manipulated, how truth could be obscured by the sheer volume of information. His perspective was invaluable, reminding Jack of the power of storytelling in uncovering the truth. The dialogue among the allies was a tapestry of voices, each contributing to a multifaceted understanding of the digital age. Together, they painted a picture of a world in flux, where technology was both a tool and a challenge, a force for good and a potential threat. Scene 4. The personal revelation. Alone once more, Jack sat with the case files spread out before him. Among the papers, he stumbled upon a forgotten photograph of his younger self, a snapshot from a time when his ideals were untested by the complexities of the digital world. The image was a catalyst for introspection, triggering a moment of clarity. In that quiet moment, Jack realized that despite the chaos of the digital landscape, the values that had driven him, justice, empathy, and human connection, remained steadfast. The photograph was a mirror, reflecting not just his past but the journey that had brought him to this point. It was a reminder that while the tools of his trade had evolved, the essence of his mission had not. This revelation marked a turning point in Jack's personal growth. He understood that the challenges posed by the digital age required not just technical acumen, but also a deep commitment to the principles that defined him. It was a moment of synthesis, where past experiences and present challenges converged, offering a renewed sense of purpose. Scene 5. The bridge to the next chapter. With newfound clarity, Jack sat down to draft a letter to a mentor back in San Antonio. The act of writing was both cathartic and symbolic, a way to articulate the insights he had gained during his time in Tokyo. The letter was a bridge, connecting the personal reflections of the past days with the challenges that lay ahead. In the letter, Jack summarized his reflections on the digital age, acknowledging both its potential and its pitfalls. He wrote of the importance of balancing technological advancement with human values, of preserving empathy and community in a world increasingly driven by data and algorithms. The letter was a testament to his readiness to return home, armed with a deeper understanding of the digital landscape and a renewed commitment to his role as a detective. As he penned the final lines, Jack felt a sense of resolution. The journey in Tokyo had been transformative, offering insights that would shape his approach to future challenges. The letter was not just a summary of reflections, but a declaration of intent, a commitment to navigate the shadows of the digital world with integrity and purpose. With the letter complete, Jack was ready to move forward, his path illuminated by the lessons of the past and the promise of the future. The story would continue, but for now, he had found a moment of peace amidst the chaos, a moment to reflect and renew before the next chapter of his journey unfolded. Chapter 10: Legacy of the Noir. Jack Marrow stood at the edge of Tokyo's bustling neon streets, the city's hum a distant echo, as he reflected on the labyrinthine case that had consumed him. The digital shadows he'd chased across continents had revealed more than just a conspiracy. They had illuminated the stark realities of courage and empathy in an increasingly digital world. As Jack prepared to return to San Antonio, he pondered the lessons learned. In a world where AI and crypto economies threatened to erase the human touch, it was the enduring qualities of courage and empathy that had guided him. These traits, once honed on battlefields and refined in negotiation rooms, had proven indispensable against the cold logic of the Displacer AI and the cunning of Riku Sato. Jack's thoughts drifted to Aya Nakamura, whose betrayal had been born from coercion rather than malice. Her eventual redemption underscored the power of understanding and second chances. It was a reminder that even in a world driven by technology, human connections remained vital. Returning to San Antonio, Jack felt a renewed sense of purpose. The case had changed him, sharpening his resolve to navigate the digital age with integrity and empathy. The neon lights of Tokyo had cast long shadows, but they had also illuminated the path forward. As the plane ascended, Jack clutched his nicked Desert Storm Challenge coin, a tangible reminder of his journey. He was leaving behind a city of shadows, yet carrying forward the light of newfound insights. His legacy, much like the noir tales of old, would be one of resilience in the face of evolving challenges. Jack Marrow was returning home, changed but resolute, ready to face whatever shadows lay ahead. Jack Marrow stood at the edge of Tokyo's Shinjuku district, the city's neon glow reflecting off his weathered face. The rain had just let up, leaving the streets slick and shimmering under the streetlights. As he watched the bustling crowds, his mind drifted back over the events that had brought him here. The case was closed, but the echoes of its revelations lingered, demanding reflection. Scene 1. A final contemplation. Jack's journey had begun with the death of a U.S. trade envoy, a seemingly straightforward case that had spiraled into a complex web of deceit and digital intrigue. The envoy's demise had been the first domino, toppling a series of events that revealed the dark underbelly of the global crypto economy. Standing here now, Jack felt the weight of what he had uncovered. The tingle that had guided him through battlefield and boardroom alike was quiet, a rare respite after the storm. The air was thick with the scent of rain and street food, a sensory reminder of the vibrant life that pulsed through Tokyo. Jack took a deep breath, letting the city's energy seep into him. He thought of Aya Nakamura, whose betrayal had cut deeply, yet whose redemption had been crucial in unraveling the conspiracy. Her journey from coerced pawn to willing ally was a testament to the human capacity for change, a theme that resonated deeply with Jack. Scene 2. Lessons from the shadows. Reflecting on the case, Jack realized how it had been a microcosm of the broader digital age challenges. The Displacer AI, with its insidious ability to siphon wealth unnoticed, symbolized the unchecked potential of technology when wielded without ethical oversight. In a world increasingly driven by algorithms and automation, Jack saw the need for a balance between innovation and humanity. He remembered a conversation with Sofia Ramirez, his tech anchor back in San Antonio. "Jack," she had said, "technology is like a blade. It can protect or harm depending on who wields it." Her words had stayed with him, a reminder that the tools of the digital age were neither inherently good nor evil. It was the intent behind their use that mattered. Jack's thoughts turned to Yumi Takeda, the coder-turned-delivery rider whose brother's disappearance had highlighted the vulnerabilities of gig workers in the digital economy. Yumi's resilience and determination had been inspiring, a beacon of hope in a sea of exploitation. Her story was a stark reminder of the human cost of progress, of the need to ensure that technological advancements did not leave the most vulnerable behind. Scene 3. A new perspective. As Jack watched the city's pulse, he considered the personal growth he had experienced throughout the case. The journey had tested his instincts, challenged his trust, and ultimately reinforced his belief in the importance of empathy and courage. In navigating the shadows of the blockchain, he had not only uncovered a global conspiracy, but also rediscovered his own ethical compass. Jack's reflections were interrupted by the soft chime of his phone. A message from Kaito Mori, the hard-nosed journalist who had become an unexpected ally. "Drinks at the usual place?" it read. Jack smiled, appreciating the camaraderie that had developed between them. In a world of shifting alliances and digital ghosts, genuine connections were rare and valuable. He made his way through the bustling streets, the city's energy invigorating him. As he walked, he pondered the legacy of the noir detective in the digital age. The tools had changed, but the core of the work remained the same: uncovering the truth, seeking justice, and above all, understanding the human stories behind the data. Arriving at the bar, Jack was greeted by the familiar sight of Kaito, already settled with a drink in hand. They exchanged a knowing nod, the unspoken acknowledgement of shared experiences. As they raised their glasses, Jack felt a sense of closure, a fitting end to a journey that had challenged and changed him. As the night wore on, their conversation drifted from the specifics of the case to broader reflections on the world they inhabited. "You know," Kaito mused, "in all the chaos, it's easy to forget the impact we can have, even in small ways." Jack nodded, understanding the sentiment deeply. "It's the small victories that matter," he replied. "They're the ones that add up, that make a difference in the long run." With the case behind him, Jack felt a renewed sense of purpose. The shadows of the blockchain had been navigated, but the lessons learned would guide him in future endeavors. The world was changing, but so was he, adapting to meet the challenges with the same grit and determination that had defined his career. As he prepared to return to San Antonio, Jack knew that the journey was far from over. The digital age presented new mysteries, new shadows to explore. But armed with experience, intuition, and a steadfast ethical compass, he felt ready to face whatever lay ahead. And so, with a final glance at the neon-lit streets of Tokyo, Jack Marrow stepped into the future, resolute and ready for the next chapter in his storied career. In the tranquil embrace of a Tokyo park, Jack Marrow sat on a wooden bench, cherry blossoms cascading around him like a gentle, pink snowfall. The contrast between this serene setting and the digital labyrinth he had been navigating was stark, offering a moment of reflection that felt almost surreal. Here, amidst the whisper of the breeze and the distant hum of the city, Jack pondered the essence of courage and empathy in a world increasingly dominated by technology. Jack's journey had been a complex tapestry of human interactions, each thread revealing a new facet of courage and empathy. He recalled Sofia Ramirez, whose relentless pursuit of truth through technology had been both inspiring and grounding. Sofia's ability to see beyond the code and into the heart of the matter was a testament to her unyielding spirit. Then there was Yumi Takeda, whose resilience in the face of personal loss and societal indifference had been a guiding light. Her story was one of silent strength, a reminder that courage often manifests in quiet perseverance. Aya Nakamura, despite her betrayal, had taught Jack an unexpected lesson in empathy. Her actions, driven by desperation rather than malice, highlighted the complexities of human motivation. Jack understood now that empathy required seeing oneself in others, a sentiment echoed in a conversation he once had with Kaito Mori, the local journalist. Kaito had said, "In a world where everything is connected, courage is standing alone, and empathy is seeing yourself in others." This wisdom resonated deeply with Jack, prompting him to consider his own place in this interconnected world. As Jack reflected, his thoughts drifted to the people he had met along the way, each contributing to his understanding of these virtues. The digital shadows he had been chasing were not just about solving a case, they were about understanding the human condition amidst the chaos of technology. Jack realized that courage and empathy were not merely personal virtues, but societal necessities, especially in an age where technology could both obscure and illuminate humanity. In a pivotal moment of introspection, Jack recalled the sting operation that had gone awry because of Aya's betrayal. Initially, the betrayal had stung deeply, but with time, Jack saw it as a turning point, a lesson in the complexities of trust and the importance of empathy. Aya's eventual redemption arc, helping Jack expose the truth, was a testament to the transformative power of understanding and forgiveness. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of orange and purple, Jack prepared to leave Tokyo. Before his departure, he met with Sofia and Yumi one last time, their conversation turning to the future and how they could use their experiences to foster change. Sofia proposed the idea of creating a platform to support gig workers like Yumi, offering them a voice and protection in the digital economy. The concept excited Jack, who saw it as a tangible way to channel their collective courage and empathy into something meaningful and impactful. Experience indicates that bringing about change in the digital economy requires more than just technological solutions. It demands a human-centric approach. The platform Sofia envisioned would not only provide gig workers with a safe space, but also empower them with the tools to navigate the digital landscape with confidence. This becomes clear when considering the challenges gig workers face: algorithmic wage theft, lack of job security, and the erasure of their digital identities. By addressing these issues, the platform could serve as a beacon of hope and a catalyst for change. The effectiveness of such a platform is notable, especially when designed with empathy at its core. By incorporating user feedback and ensuring transparency, the platform could foster a sense of community and belonging among gig workers. Additionally, offering educational resources and legal support would empower them to advocate for their rights and navigate the complexities of the digital economy with greater ease. As Jack's plane ascended, he looked out over the sprawling city, its lights twinkling like digital constellations. He felt a profound sense of peace, knowing that while the world is complex and often shadowed, it is also filled with individuals capable of extraordinary courage and empathy. This realization was Jack's legacy, a personal evolution that left him changed but resolute as he returned to San Antonio. Jack's journey through the neon shadows of Tokyo had been one of discovery, not just of the digital conspiracies that lurk beneath the surface, but of the human spirit's resilience and capacity for empathy. His reflections on courage and empathy offered readers a moment to pause and consider their own roles in a digital world. As technology continues to evolve, the need for these virtues becomes even more critical, urging us to look beyond the screens and see the humanity that connects us all. In the end, the story of Jack Marrow was not just about uncovering a global conspiracy. It was about understanding the power of human connection in an increasingly automated world. The lessons learned from Sofia, Yumi, Aya, and Kaito were invaluable, shaping Jack's perspective and reinforcing the importance of courage and empathy in the face of digital shadows. As readers turn the final pages of Crypto Shadows, they are left with a sense of closure and contemplation, perfectly setting the stage for the story's conclusion. Jack Marrow stepped off the plane and into the sweltering embrace of the Texas sun. The heat was a stark contrast to the neon-lit chill of Tokyo, where the shadows seemed to hold secrets in every corner. As he walked through the bustling airport, the familiar sights and sounds of San Antonio washed over him, yet he felt a profound sense of solitude. It was as if he were a man caught between two worlds, forever changed by the journey he had just undertaken. Driving through the city, Jack passed landmarks that once held significance in his life. The Alamo stood resolute, a symbol of courage and sacrifice, reminding him of battles fought both on foreign soil and within the digital realm. The Riverwalk, with its meandering paths and vibrant life, evoked memories of simpler times before the case that had turned his world upside down. As he navigated the familiar streets, Jack couldn't help but reflect on how much he had changed. The city was the same, yet he was not. Later that evening, Jack found himself at his favorite jazz bar, a place that seemed untouched by time. The smoky ambiance and the soulful strains of a saxophone provided a comforting backdrop for his contemplation. As he settled into a corner booth, he was joined by an old friend, Detective Marcus Hayes. Marcus had been following Jack's exploits from afar, his curiosity piqued by the news reports that had filtered back from Tokyo. "Jack, you look like you've seen a ghost," Marcus remarked, a hint of amusement in his voice. Jack chuckled, though the sound was hollow. "More like I've been chasing them," he replied, his mind drifting back to the digital phantoms he had encountered. The conversation soon turned philosophical, delving into the nature of justice in a digital age. They discussed the moral complexities Jack had faced, the blurred lines between right and wrong in a world where technology could both conceal and reveal the truth. "The core principle," Jack mused, "is finding the courage to act, even when the path isn't clear, and having the empathy to understand the human stories behind the crime." Marcus nodded, his expression thoughtful. "It's a brave new world, Jack, but some things never change, like the need for justice." As the night wore on, Jack returned to his apartment, a place that felt both welcoming and alien. The evidence of his journey lay scattered around him, photographs, notes, and that fateful sushi menu that had set everything in motion. Sitting at his desk, he reviewed the case files one last time, each piece of paper a reminder of the people he had met and the indelible marks they had left on his life. Sofia, his tech anchor and confidante, had been a constant source of support. Yumi, the coder-turned-delivery rider, had shown him the desperation of those living on the fringes. Kaito, the hard-nosed journalist, had been a steadfast ally in uncovering the truth. And Aya, whose betrayal had cut deep, had ultimately sought redemption, reminding Jack of the complexities of trust and betrayal. In a moment of quiet reflection, Jack picked up a pen and began to write a letter to Sofia. It was both a thank you and a farewell, acknowledging the pivotal role she had played in unraveling the crypto laundering scheme. He expressed his gratitude, his hopes for the future, and his commitment to staying connected despite the miles that now separated them. "Dear Sofia," he began, "I find myself back in San Antonio, but with a heart and mind forever changed by what we've been through. Your guidance was my anchor in the storm, and for that I am eternally grateful." His words flowed easily, each sentence a testament to the bond they had forged. "Though our paths may diverge, know that I carry your spirit with me, a reminder of the courage it takes to face the shadows of our world." As he sealed the letter, Jack felt a sense of closure, a chapter ending even as a new one began. He stepped out onto his apartment balcony, the cityscape of San Antonio stretching out before him. The lights twinkled in the distance, a reminder of the life and energy that pulsed through the city. Yet beneath the surface, Jack knew there were shadows still lurking, stories yet to be told. He contemplated the legacy of his actions, the courage it had taken to face the digital world's shadows, and the empathy required to understand the human stories behind the crime. Jack was resolved to continue his work, but with a renewed sense of purpose and a deeper understanding of the complexities of the digital age. In that moment, Jack Marrow knew that his journey was far from over. The city called to him, its mysteries and challenges waiting to be unraveled. As he stood there, the cool night air wrapping around him, he felt a quiet determination settle within. The future was uncertain, but he was ready to face it, guided by the lessons he had learned and the connections he had made. As the chapter of his life in Tokyo closed, a new one in San Antonio was just beginning. Jack Marrow, seasoned detective and seasoned by life, was home. And with that, he embraced the legacy of the noir, a testament to courage, empathy, and the enduring impact of human connection in a rapidly changing world.